Opinions of the people expressing them and do not necessarily reflect those of this radio station, its parent, affiliated, or related entities, agents, or employees.
Welcome to the Clay Edwards Show. More adrenaline.
You know, it's a pretty interesting time to be alive. What's the saying? May the times you live in be interesting. We've accomplished that.
And more testosterone for your morning drive.
But when you know you've got a problem, how about tell people and be honest? What's going on?
Going to war on cancel culture and bringing the spotlight on issues and topics from around the city of Jackson.
I feel like Jackson, Mississippi.
No one else wants to talk about.
The whole system is corrupt and evil. It's unreal. And they don't care. And everybody knows that. It's just sad.
And fights for the soul of America.
I'm going to need y'all to explain to me what a positive solution is, because you positive solutions only people have been in charge for a while now. And I'm not seeing too many positive solutions.
You never met a motherfucker like me.
Strap in, turn up the volume. And
Boom goes La Dynamite. I mean, boom, shakalaka boom. One day I'll get it right again. You're tuned in to the free range human show of choice, your daily dose of reality radio. It starts right now. This is the Clay Edwards Show. I'm, of course, Clay Edwards, coming at you live here on the 50,000 megawatt flamethrower, 1039 WYAB on a motivational Men's Health Monday in Central Mississippi on the radio. And, of course, worldwide as we stream everywhere globally, all at the same time on the Mazda of Jackson live stream. Hope everybody's doing well this morning. We are joined here in the Clay Edwards Show studios by my friend, Mr. Creston Birch, as he has been hanging out with me here a little bit, giving me somebody to bounce stuff off of and chit-chat with, which does make this job a little bit easier at times, having somebody to chop it up with. So we appreciate Creston coming in with us, as he just retired from the Clinton Police Department after 30 years. And with some of these topics we've been dealing with here lately, it is pretty interesting.
Kind of been right up my alley.
Yeah, I accidentally added you to the stream. Your second thing there. Let me remove that. Give me 1 second. Hide. There we go. Yeah. So it is with the Nolan Wells stuff. It's been definitely right up your alley. And with the topic I want to start with this morning, it's definitely, I think, your opinion on this is definitely gonna matter. I would like to get it before we get into that real quick. Just a little bit of housekeeping. The Ellis Autoplex text line is 769-241-1944. If you want to text the show, I promise we will read some text today. Ellis Autoplex text line, 769-241-1944. And of course, as always, I did mention it's a Men's Health Monday. The Clay Edwards Show is powered by the free testosterone screenings out there at Live Better Men's Health and Wellness. And man, just the more and more crazy stuff going on in the world, we as men need to be prepared mentally, physically, emotionally, all that stuff. And a great way to do it, especially if you're over 30 or so, 35, is make sure your testosterone levels are right. And you're gonna find a motivation you forgot you had. You're gonna find a feeling that you forgot existed, because it's like death by 1,000 paper cuts, losing your testosterone, or as your testosterone declines. It's not an overnight thing, and getting it back isn't necessarily an overnight thing. It takes a couple weeks, month or two at the most, but you will be ginning like juice, as they like to say, once you get rolling on TRT, testosterone replacement therapy. And you can do that by first step is the free testosterone screening. Text Clay to 601-633-9017. Text Clay, C-L-A-Y, to 601-633-9017, or you can check them out online at livebettermen.com. That's livebettermen.com. All right, so the title of today's show is The Truth About Why Black Boys Are Being Killed with Their White Friends. And this has absolutely nothing to do with the Nolan Wells story, believe it or not. So about 2 years ago, I personally witnessed the same thing that I'm going to tell you all about this morning, and I'll circle back to what I witnessed. But first, let's talk about what was witnessed at around 1:30 in the morning, Sunday morning, Saturday night, however you want to look at it, in Flowood at the Whataburger. And that is, a friend of mine had been out, and friends of mine had been out, and they were leaving the Whataburger, and they saw a group of, teenagers, all white with the exception of one of the kids. And the one kid that wasn't white was black, and he had a gun, and he had it put to a white girl's head. Now, my friend confronts them. Like, what in the F are y'all doing? And shocked she did that, but she did. And if some people, she calls the cops. She's like, hey man, there's kids up here pointing guns at people and stuff. That's the natural human reaction. Usually to seeing stuff like that. It's either that or you shoot the kid. There's two reactions, right? You either call the cops or you shoot the kid, and ask questions later. And it ends up being a toy gun. Not an airsoft. There's some other kind of gun, an Amari, something, some other term I've never heard before, but it looks real. She has a picture of the gun. I should have got her to send it to me, but I saw it I saw her picture on her phone in person. I don't know why I didn't say text it to me, but anyway, these guns look real, and especially from a distance, they look real. All it's going to take is one Clay Edwards type person to be riding by and see that and shoot first and ask questions later. I'm saving somebody's life. I got him in my targets. He ain't pulling the trigger before I do, or I better pull it before he does. And out in Rankin County, there's some other good old boys thinking the same damn way. Every time they cut on their TV, every time they open up their phone, on the internet, all you see is black folks behaving badly, young black boys raising hell, tearing stuff down, burning down cities, robbing places, shooting each other, shooting other folks. That's all you see. And then boom, you see it in real life. You're like, oh crap, I better save this girl. Maybe they're the passenger in the vehicle. They've been out a little bit. Maybe they've been a little bit of drinking. It's 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday night, Sunday morning. Shoot first, ask questions later. And then, why my baby get killed? It was just a toy. Why he shoot my baby? My baby didn't do nothing. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Your baby had a gun to another girl's head, to a girl's head. Your baby did plenty. It was a toy gun. I do not care. I do not care. And something's going to tell me that a jury in Rankin County probably going to agree with me that as sad and tragic as it is, don't go LARPing at 2 a.m. or any other time of the day for that matter, by pointing guns at people out in public, real and or otherwise. So I'll tell you that I've seen that. And then I will tell you now that a couple of years ago, I don't want to say where exactly because one business is still open, the other's not. And, I don't want people thinking that kind of shenanigans goes on at this place that's still open, but there were 2 restaurants side by side in Ridgeland. And I was at one of them on the patio, and I looked over across the parking lot at the other one, and there's a group of black boys. What come to find out, pretending they were LARPing, but they were having a fake fight. And then one of them has a toy gun, but I didn't know it was a toy gun at the time, and he puts it to the other one's head. Hey, I go full Karen, son. I call 911. Hey, y'all got a situation over here at this chicken strip joint. And I said, there's some boys robbing, stealing, possibly getting ready to do some killing over here. Y'all might want to peep in and check this out. They do. They show up, and I'm not sure what the end result was. I got back to my evening once the cops arrived. But, in fact, circle back to the incident in Flowood. So the cops show up, and basically, there's nothing they can do. They said that, I guess they said that the boy who had the gun had already left, but the girl claims that not to be true. But neither here nor there. She had a conversation with the detective with Flowood PD yesterday, and he said that pretty much their hands are tied on these things because they probably get 10 or 15 calls a week about these type situations, which that seems wildly high. But I can see it. I mean, I'm just telling you about 2 incidents that I personally, either somebody I know saw or I saw myself. And that just seems high. But anyway, he says they get 10 or 15 calls a week out there in Flowood alone of kids pointing guns, and it's toy guns usually. And it goes, they try to talk to the parents, and it's usually the mama. And y'all profiling my baby. It's just a toy gun. Leave my baby alone. Nothing better happen to my baby. Baby, mama, you might need to tell your baby not to be toting the toy gun around.
That would be the best idea.
Yep. I mean, so, and I've got pulled up some stats and some situations where this is happened before that has led to mama's baby boy and girl in a couple occasions getting killed because they had a toy gun. Creston, is this anything you've ever experienced or something you've seen out in the wild in your 30 years?
Yeah, I to this day have in my possession a toy gun that I almost killed a 14-year-old over. 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, rolling around, group of kids out where they're not supposed to be. Get them out, start searching folks. All of a sudden, this toy gun falls out on the ground and clinks across the pavement. And it sounds real. And I don't know which any of the rest of them have got a similar weapon on them or not. And we've got kids stretched out at gunpoint there over a plastic cap gun that he was carrying in his waistband. I keep that to this day to remind me how close it was.
Yeah, man, that is scary. I got a gun. I got a whole fleet of Hinds County deputies pull me over one time and stretch me out over my truck backfiring in front of a house one time because the people that lived in that house thought I had pulled a drive-by and my truck had backfired. I had to prove to them once they unstretched me and broke my herringbone in half. Thanks, Brian McCurley. I had to prove to them on the side of the road there at the entrance of Lake Dockery on Sidewall Road in Byron that I could make my truck backfire at will. But
on demand, as they say.
On demand, yeah. And I could. You do a little gas and cut it off, cut it back on. It would backfire. And I mean, I did backfire it on purpose in front of the person's house, but I knew who lived there. And she actually works for one of our sponsors now. Kind of funny. But yeah, look, I can just see where this is a big, big issue now. And these toy guns look more and more authentic. And,
absolutely.
And honestly, regardless how authentic they look, when you're across the parking lot and you see something like that, I'm telling you, man, it's going to end with some kid, black, white, other, getting killed. And I mentioned the black thing because the 2 times that I've been made aware of, one time I witnessed myself and one time that the girl I know saw the other night, it's the black kids doing it. And when I saw it, it was a whole group of black kids, but it was the one black kid with the white kids. And all we've heard for the last week or 2 weeks since the 4th of July is black parents, don't let your kids hang out with white folks. Don't let your kids hang out with white folks. Well, look, if your kid's gonna be hanging out with white folks, my suggestion would be tell them not to put a toy gun to a white girl's head in Rankin County if you don't want to die with your white friends, because it's gonna happen. All it's gonna take is the wrong hero to see it.
It's happened in plenty of cities around the country. These so-called toy guns, and people dying over them. And another thing that people don't think about is they disguise real guns as toy guns. So now we're doubly hampered. They're playing with toy guns, and then we got people who are bad people who are using toys to mask real guns. And now, okay, who's pointing what at who?
Yeah, I have seen the toy gun, the fake real gun situation, where the real guns being painted like toy guns, like Nintendo controllers.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, I think it looks really cool, in your house, like not to take out and do anything stupid with. But more than that, I've seen them painted to look like the little red cap revolvers.
Yep.
And all the toy guns.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I don't know if I see a thug with any kind of gun, I don't care what it's painted like, I'm going to assume it's real. But the problem you have is, cops in these situations.
Well, cop or not, you're taught to treat all weapons as loaded. So if you point a gun at me, whether it be loaded or not, I'm going to assume it's loaded.
Yeah, as you should.
As you should, because that is one of the safety factors of a weapon is you treat all of them as if they are loaded.
Yep. I've got to, it's not letting me pull up what I had asked it to. And here I had it pulled up on my Grok in the office over there, and it's not pulling it up in this office over here. No, we got it. Okay, so let's take a break real quick. Let's stay on schedule this morning. When we come back, just so y'all know I'm not being hyperbolic, I have some cases that we can look at where kids got killed with toy guns. We can discuss that and more. If you want to chime in on this, the phone number here on the studio is 601-879-0002. If you got a problem with this, like with my assumptions here, I would love to hear how we should just leave them. Why you think we should just leave them kids alone, let them play. I would love to hear your justifications for that. If you agree, or if you've had if you've had a situation like this that you've witnessed or been a part of, because you was out FOFOing, I'd like to hear that too. Did you FOFO and survive? That'd be a great story this morning on the Clay Edwards Show. Let's take a break real quick. We got Creston Birch here in the studio. We are powered by the free testosterone screenings out at Live Better Men's Health and Wellness. And don't forget the blue plate special of the day over at McBee's Bar and Grill right there on Lake Harbor Drive in Ridgeland is the chicken spaghetti, the Rotel chicken spaghetti. I mean, it's nice. It's melted Velveeta looking cheese, Rotel tomatoes, grilled chicken. I want some now. Can I get some for breakfast, Michael Wimberly? Anyway, don't meet me there, beat me there. And if that is not your jam, you don't like chicken spaghetti, don't fret. The full menu is available. Get one of their world famous burgers, their awesomely large chicken wings, about a dozen different flavors. You can get those things. Or other blue plate specials include the hamburger steak with gravy, grilled chicken breast, or the hand battered country fried steak. And y'all know how I feel about country fried steak. It is oh so good. That's McBee's Bar and Grill right there, Lake Harbor in Ridgeland. And we'll be right back here on the Clay Edwards Show, 103.9 WYAB.
Hey, business owners, want your phones to ring away? Get your name on the airwaves with the Clay Edwards Show today. Tell the town who you are while they're driving in their cars. If you want your business to grow, advertise on the Clay Edwards Show. Contact info at WYAB.com. Contact info at WYAB.com.
Remember when you had energy after work? When your mind was sharp, your confidence was high, and getting older didn't feel like giving up? That guy's still in there. Live Better Men's Health and Wellness helps men fight fatigue, low testosterone, brain fog, and low motivation with customized treatment plans built for real life. No waiting forever, no awkward lectures, just answers, support, and a plan. Living better starts now. Live Better Men's Health. Visit livebettermen.com today.
When second's making a play, short's got it covered.
A winning insurance strategy doesn't rely on one person.
Good hustle, good hustle.
Communicate with your guys and make sure everyone's in the right coverage. It takes a team that knows its roles well, working together to provide an exceptional experience.
Set the screen. You have to protect yourself. 1, 2, 3, Wildcat!
At Shelter Insurance, you can count on our local agents and award-winning customer service to help you protect what matters most.
Come see me, Jamie Creel, at Shelter Insurance and see why Forbes has rated us #1 in the world.
Grill lovers already know about Grills of Mississippi, and so should you. Grills of Mississippi carries premium Weber grills, Yoder smokers, and outdoor kitchen accessories to take your backyard cooking to the next level. Whether you're a weekend griller or a serious pitmaster, Grills of Mississippi has the brands, the knowledge, and the service to help you do it right. Turn your backyard into the ultimate gathering spot. Visit grillsofms.com today. Grills of Mississippi, where great cooking starts.
It's all systems go this month at Mazda of Jackson. With rates as low as 0% with approved credit, come test drive the all-new, fully redesigned 2026 Mazda CX-5. More room for you and your cargo makes the third-generation CX-5 the best yet. Mazda's best-selling SUV also comes with 1-year maintenance included on your new vehicle purchase. And Mazda of Jackson still specializes in certified pre-owned vehicles with hassle-free trade-in options available. Shop online at MazdaJackson.com or visit Mazda Jackson, I-55 Frontage Road.
Hey, Rankin County, swing by the locally owned and award-winning 042 Wine and Spirits on Highway 80 next to Sonny's Barbecue in Brandon today. We've got one of the largest selections around with over 200 bourbons and whiskeys to ignite your taste buds, more than 50 vodkas, 50-plus tequilas, 30-plus rums, and ready-to-drink cocktails, as well as premium scotches. And get this, we've got over 400 wines in stock for the perfect pairing anytime. Discover your new favorites today at 042 Wine and Spirits right next to Sonny's Barbecue, Highway 80, Cross Gates, Brandon.
For decades, you've known the name Martin's for good times, great food, and the best live music. Now that's happening at 2 locations, downtown Jackson and Livingston. Check the websites, martinslivingstonms.com and martinsdowntownjxn.com for the many special events and live music lineups. You can chill with friends on the big patio at the Livingston location and enjoy the blue plate lunches and nightly drink specials. Martin's, downtown and Livingston.
The Clay Edwards Show live stream on WYAB is brought to you by Mazda of Jackson.
This is the Clay Edwards Show, powered by LiveBetterMen.com.
Contact the show on the Ellis Autoplex text line at 769-241-1944.
Welcome back in to the most incendiary show on the RADIO. This is the Clay Edwards Show, 103.9 WYAB. We are powered by, well, you already know, the men's the free testosterone screenings at Live Better Men's Health and Wellness, but that'd be the third time I've told y'all that since we got on the air, so we'll hold that one for a second. Look, how about my friends over at Grills of Mississippi? Look, get your Monday started off right. Get over there today and get you some grilling accessories. Get you a new grill. Put your order in for some great barbecue ribs or catering for this weekend. You can't get your order in too soon. They smoke their world championship ribs, but guys, they also have other great items that they smoke there. They're not a restaurant. They can't come in and sit down and get you a to-go plate, but they smoke this stuff and they put it in the airtight bags. What is that called? Vacuum seal. Vacuum sealed bags. Thank you. Y'all know, man, sometimes in the mornings words elude me, and that's really my excuse throughout the day. Once I leave here and a word eludes me, I say, man, sometimes in the afternoon, words elude me after the radio show. And then in the evenings, I'm so tired. I'm brain drained. Words elude me. Words just elude me all the time. But it's easy to blame it on the mornings here on the show. So, so they have these pre-smoked meals. They gave me, I've never had one of their port loins before, but they have like a sliced port loin. And it's got some gravy in it, or the juice in it, the seasonings, and it doesn't taste like what you would think traditional barbecue. It tastes more like something that was cooked in a crock pot, right? Like that kind of flavor.
Yeah,
man. I'll be honest, the smell wasn't what I was expecting. I wouldn't say it was off-putting. It smelled good, but compared to the barbecue smell that you think about, I was like, I don't know. That smells more like crock pot. Maybe I smell some French onion in it or something. I don't know, but man, I took a bite of it. And I did not offer another bite to anybody in that house. It was a pound of it that they gave me to try. I was like, y'all, it ain't no good. This is terrible. I'm going to let the dogs have the rest of it. And by dogs, I meant me. And it was that dang good. So look, if you got a chance to get into their port loin, grab it. It's over there. When you walk into the left, there's a cooler, big stand-up cooler. And it's got side dishes, homemade banana pudding, all kind of great stuff. Pulled pork. Slice, they got brisket sometimes, but they have that port loin. It is fine. Check it out, man. Grills Mississippi, for all your grilling supplies, pellets, sauces, rubs, grills, smokers, steak cookers, pizza cookers. They got it all. They even have those big portable air conditioning units. There's Hessmeyer, I think is a brand. Hessemer, I'm probably saying it wrong, but they're the big like swamp buster. They blow cold air, like big portable air conditioners.
Oh, the big fans.
But these will blow the mist, but you don't have to do that.
Right.
You can just put ice water in the thing and it'll blow the cool water, like the cool air.
Mm-hmm.
And man, they work. Like they really work. If you work out in your garage or you got a home gym outside or anything like that, man, these things really work. They sell those. If you've been thinking about maybe going to Home Depot and get one, don't. Holler at Jonathan and the team over at Grills Mississippi. They sell those as well. And they can get you hooked up there. All right, man, let's get back to it. That's Grills of Mississippi. So I pulled up some information here over on the old AI. And I always like to tell y'all how I got the answer. But so I'd like to tell y'all what question I asked.
How you prompt the grok.
Absolutely. I think that's important because you can prompt things to get the answer you want.
Oh, absolutely.
So I just said incidents of kids, and I'm honest, I said especially black kids, because I'm trying to prove a point this morning on the Nolan Wells stuff, that being killed by someone because they had a toy or airsoft type gun that was confused as a real gun. Because, we keep getting told that, black kids are being killed by their white friends and by cops and people are out just hunting them and all that stuff. Now, I don't hear those things from white parents, but it does in fact happen, I'm sure, which, I don't know. But anyway, so it says notable cases exist of children, including black children, being fatally shot most often by police officers after possessing realistic toy airsoft BB or pellet guns that were mistaken for real firearms. These incidents typically involve replica designed to closely mimic actual guns, often with orange safety tips removed or missing, Creston. Then it says rapid police response to reports of armed person and split-second decisions under stress. Realistic airsoft BB guns are a documented problem for law enforcement. So then it says here, prominent examples involving children. Tamir Rice. There's one we heard Benny Boom Boom Crump mentioned the other day. Hey, real quick before I go any further, speaking of Ben Crump, and when he got up there the other day at the autopsy and ran off the names of all those black folks that had been killed by white folks or cops or whatever that he was trying to sensationalize. Anybody else notice that he forgot to mention a little baby that just literally 1 month to the day that he held that autopsy press conference, he held another press conference right here in the state of Mississippi for a little baby named Cohen Wiley that made a big old fuss about. Y'all may or may not remember Cohen Wiley. He's the 1-year-old that got shot because his mom held him up like Operation Human Shield as they were trying to run over a officer who had to make a split-second decision to save his life and the people standing beside him's life. But that they claimed that the cop just went out baby hunting that day. But anyway, he failed to mention that baby. I mean, just should have been top of mind. Should have been the first name he rattled off his head.
You would think so.
I mean, he was the last case before this one in the same state.
Yeah.
I mean, he could have connected those dots if he was trying to paint a picture, right?
Oh yeah.
Look at Mississippi. They're just killing black babies and killing black teenagers, and just look at all just the murdering the blacks going on here in Mississippi. We've had to go there twice in the last 30 days. I mean, if it was me and I do what he does, trust me, I would have played that card. I wonder why he didn't. I don't think it was an accident.
I don't think it was either.
I think he's seen that. I think when mama was pee-popping on a handstand and twerking at the funeral, holding all that money up, and probably done seen some body cam footage, or probably done seen the video and realizes, yeah, they effed up.
They might not have a leg to stand on.
That's what I would guess. I believe he has backed away from that one. You ain't heard another word out about that.
Nope, you haven't.
And I got a screenshot of him, or I got it saved on my X account last night. He made a post, or maybe over the weekend.
Well, if you hadn't been paying attention, the circus has moved from the Gulf Coast of Mississippi to Madison, Wisconsin.
Oh, I have. But he did circle back.
Oh yeah.
He circled back and said, and I'm going to pick this toy gun stuff back up here in just a second. He did circle back and say, now that we know where LeBron James is playing basketball, can we get back to figuring out who killed Nolan Wells?
Yeah, I have no comment.
LeBron James. We got 2 hours this morning. We can spend the rest of it talking about that idiot, but not LeBron, Ben Crump. We will not talk about LeBron James on this show. I spent too much of my life having to hear about LeBron James when I used to watch sports, or that kind of sports. When I used to watch ESPN debate shows back when they didn't totally suck. And it was always LeBron or MJ, and it was Stephen A. and Skip. God, talk about brain rot and culture rot. Those shows are brain rot. Those debate shows.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I don't like doing debates on this show. I just think that the debate age is kind of dead. Like, if you want to come on and just have a conversation about certain things, we can have a conversation. But this just let me debate you, bro, stuff. Like, man, I'm over that. You're not going to change my mind on anything that I've already gotten just rooted in on.
Well, the only thing I would say about that is that the debate is not necessarily between the two people that are having the debate. It's for that third person that's listening to the debate that you're actually, spouting fact. and that your maybe counterpart is, spouting a bunch of, trumped up BS.
You know what? I hadn't thought about that. I have not thought about it. I don't know why. You would think that should be the first thing I thought of.
You always think that the argument is for the two individuals, and I think it's different. I think it's for the third party.
You know what? That's a great point, because I had a guy challenge me to politely challenge me online. He hit me up at several things, posted in my group and all that, wanting to come on and have a respectful conversation, which I always know what that means. I mean, polite in the kindest way. It means let's have a debate about race, And I'm like, and I just responded. I was like, man, if you want to come on and talk about, my thoughts on Black culture and kind of where I'm at with all that, and you think you're going to change my mind, it's just an exhausting conversation that I've had so many times that I just don't want to do it anymore. I stand where I stand on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm, if you want to come in and ask me if I'm racist, I mean, that's the first question I get asked anytime I have somebody, not Black conservative, but anytime I let somebody from the culture or somebody, or I agree to do an interview with a Black podcaster or whatever, which I don't mind doing it. I enjoy doing that stuff to an extent, but can we move past are you racist? Either y'all think I am or you think I'm not. I mean, there's no in between with it. I say I'm not. If I was, I would tell you I was, but I'm not, but I just understand that when you've been pandered to for no less than the 47 years I've been on this planet, and you've been told that nothing's your fault and anything went wrong in your communities because of racism and supremacies and all these other things that none of us have really seen in our lifetime, and somebody finally pushes back and says, yeah, but, I can see why you would think I was a racist, but I only ask, and I only do this because I care and I expect better out of you, because maybe I see more in you than you see in yourselves, and that's why I demand accountability out of it. And there was a post in there in the live chat this morning, and I haven't got it pulled up, but Creston was reading it to me during the break. And long story short, it says something to the extent of, why do I always talk about the Black community? Why don't I worry about my community? Well, here's the thing. I keep telling y'all, there's no such thing as the Black community and the white community. There is Black culture and there are other cultures, but the other cultures are not allowed to celebrate their cultures. The only one that we're allowed to celebrate is Black culture. And if you mention any other culture, Jewish culture, white culture, I don't even know what white culture is. Honestly, I've never even used that phrase before. I would say Southern culture, Mississippi culture. I think there's not such thing as a racial culture. There's, I guess, that geographical cultures, but Black is the only one. This is the only race that has a quote unquote culture that we're all supposed to honor, regardless of how rotten certain segments of it is. But my point being that I talk about my community. My community is the Tri-County area, which sadly, well, I mean, not sadly necessarily. I don't know if sadly is the word. I guess I'm glad it's not my people doing the majority of it. It would make my life a little easier if it was, I guess, but then that would mean I was living around a bunch of trash, and I definitely don't want to be living around it. So I guess I'm glad it's not quote unquote my people doing it, but I guess I wouldn't be called a racist every time I talked about it if it was my people doing it. But the majority of the people committing the crimes around here are overwhelmingly Black. And if you think I'm lying or I'm just making that up or I'm cherry picking, go to any local news site. I consider WLBT to be pretty damn liberal. Go to WLBT and go to crime on the link and just scroll down and look at all the pictures of the people committing the crime. Like, I ain't cherry picking here. I've told y'all before, I got carpal tunnel the culture has given me carpal tunnel. I've had to type so much about y'all the last 6 or 7 years. I had to buy a device the other day at the wildlife extravaganza, like a TENS unit, EMS, an electrical magnetic pulse unit. The girl corrected me. It's not a TENS, to put on my hand so I don't have to have surgery, just to help stop the pain from my carpal tunnel in my left hand. And I'm right-handed, and I ain't the hand I use. My left hand ain't the one I use before y'all say anything. I use my right hand. So, nah. So it ain't from that. It's from thumbing my phone and thumbing my keyboard. Y'all done giving me carpal tunnel. All the crime y'all committing around here, me having to make these videos and talk about it. But my point being, I don't wake up and say, I hope some Black people committed a crime today so I can talk about it. I don't say that about anybody. I would love to wake up and not have to talk about this crap. I would love to wake up this morning and not have to come in here and talk to Creston about the lone Black kid in a group of about 15 white kids with a gun, real or not, pointed at a white girl's head in Flowood Saturday night, Sunday morning. But you know what? That's the realities of it. And well, Clay, why does race matter? Well, it would damn sure matter if that black kid had gotten shot and killed.
Absolutely.
That's why race matters. That's why it wasn't just a kid, because it was a black kid. And if that black kid had got shot by Clay Edwards, by a cop, or by any other body that listens to this show or is outspoken, or it really doesn't matter what they are, other than white. But so I guess if it was a black cop, that would be part of the white supremacy. That's what we've been told. Black cops are the white face of black supremacy. I mean, black cops are the black face of white supremacy. Y'all know what I'm trying to say here. Mama would blame it on race. Ben Crump would be here
again.
Why are they hunting down our black babies? So that's why we're talking about it, and that's why we're highlighting this. So black mamas, black daddies out there this morning, and I love y'all. I'm having a heart to heart with you here. Y'all talk about there's a different conversation you have to have with your children about interactions with police. Well, the one you need to start having with them is if they're got these damn toy guns and they're out acting a fool with them, especially in Rankin and Madison County, where it is predominantly white. And people are scared because of what they're seeing on the news every night and on the internet every day, because stereotypes, unfortunately, they exist for a reason. And that just is what it is. I mean, y'all ain't got no problem stereotyping us. Look no further than the Nolan Wells case down there on the coast, and how all y'all going straight to stereotyping it and comparing it to Emmett Till. So don't act like y'all don't do it too. Let's take a break real quick. When we come back, we'll run down this list of some of these other people who have kind of been some of these other examples, or maybe we won't, but we'll be right back either way. This is the Clay Edwards Show with Creston Birch. You can follow Creston over on the X at the Bourbon Diplomacy with no Y on the end. Just Bourbon Diplomacy, just drop the Y. And across the other social media platforms, YouTube included, properly spelled Bourbon Diplomacy with the Y. We'll be right back on the Clay Edwards Show. Of course, you can follow me at SaveJXN and at Clay Edwards Show across just about every platform, unless I've been kicked off of it. We'll be right back.
WYAB.
This is Central Mississippi's Stimulating Talk.
1039 WYAB, Pocahontas, Jackson.
Need equipment that works as hard as you do? Come see me, Noah Sullivan, at H&H Chief Sales in Carthage. Thousands of you have already made the short drive to see us at H&H for the state's best deals on CM truck beds, Big Tex trailers, Wells Fargo enclosed trailers, and even rugged Candy electric utility vehicles. At H&H, our equipment is built for the farm, job site, hunting camp, or anywhere around your property. So visit me, Noah Sullivan, at H&H Chief Sales on Highway 35 North in Carthage, or online anytime at hhchiefsales.com.
Looking for adventure, amazing food, and a little relaxation all in one place? You'll find it at Cypress Point Resort in Brandon. Load up the family and experience a real drive-through safari, petting zoo, and thrilling guided Jeep tours. Then slow it down with mouth-watering steaks at the steakhouse, or grab drinks and live music at the tavern. Planning a wedding or reunion? Cypress Point Resort has beautiful venues and cozy lodging. Ready for your big day or just a weekend escape? It's everything you love about the outdoors with a touch of luxury. Cypress Point Resort. Wild fun right around the corner.
You wake up tired. You drag through the day. The drive's gone. The focus is gone. And somewhere along the way, you stopped feeling like yourself. At Live Better Men's Health and Wellness in Gluckstadt, they help men take control again with personalized testosterone therapy, wellness treatments, and real answers. Fast lab work, real medical professionals, no judgment. Stop settling for fine. Start living better. Live Better Men's Health. Online at livebettermen.com.
Hi, Kim Wade here. Are you craving a home-cooked meal without the hassle? Come over to McBee's Bar and Grill in Ridgeland for their Blue Plate lunch specials. Served up every weekday, at McBee's is a different entree every day. Chicken spaghetti on Mondays, beef tip Tuesday, pork chop Wednesday, spaghetti Thursday, and catfish Fridays. And McBee's Blue Plate lunch comes with 2 classic southern sides and cornbread or a roll. McBee's specials are served every weekday from 11 to 2. McBee's, Saints, buzzing the Reds since 1982.
Hey, business owners, want your phones to ring away? Get your name on the airwaves with the Clay Edwards Show today. Tell the town who you are while they're driving in their cars. If you want your business to grow, advertise on the Clay Edwards Show. Contact info at WIAB.com. Contact info at WIAB.com.
Your roof is constantly exposed to the elements, battling dirt, algae, and stains. But with Watkins Construction and Roofing Roof Wash Service, you can keep it looking like new. A proprietary rooficide treatment is EPA approved, safe, and guaranteed to prevent algae from coming back for at least 2 years. No harsh chemicals, no damage, no black streaks. Just a clean, beautiful roof that lasts. Call Watkins Construction and Roofing at 601-966-8233 or visit nomoreroofstains.com today.
The Clay Edwards Show live stream on WYAB is brought to you by Mazda of Jackson.
This is the Clay Edwards Show, powered by LiveBetterMen.com.
Contact the show on the Ellis Autoplex text line at 769-241-1944.
Welcome back to the Clay Edwards Show.
Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show, 1039 WYAB. I was updating my phone there during the break, not my phone, but in my Facebook post. If you saw my Facebook this morning, around 6:20, I was coming up 220 north, just past Highway 80, and the metro right there, the I-20-220 interchange. Like I said, just going under the bridge right there at the VA ballparks. And in the median, I guess it happened to the folks coming southbound sometime in the last couple hours overnight, a 3-car pileup. And there's one car on its side, and I just posted these on my Facebook. Y'all can go look at it at the Clay Edwards Show. Somehow one car's up on its side. There's a Camaro involved. Of course, there's a Camaro involved, a V6 Camaro. Must have been leaving a car show. Anyway, V6 Camaro, a truck on its side, and another car. And they're all wedged in between the steel cables. I have no clue how they managed to all end up in the same wedge where, like, they run up and they meet the bridge pylons.
The abutment.
Yeah, absolute chaos. I mean, there ain't no way somebody wouldn't do it. Probably 2 cars racing, and a third innocent person got involved somehow or another. I'm guessing. See, when I rode by this morning, there wasn't any blinkers or anything still. There was nothing going on in the vehicles. And there was one tow truck parked on the side of the road, like an old school tow truck. And so I don't think people were still in it. I'm guessing it happened overnight and they had already been cleared of it. But Creston, let me ask you this, because I see this on 220 a lot.
Yeah.
Clinton's, say there's a wreck on the interstate in Clinton. Did y'all get the car towed immediately? Was there ever a reason to leave a wrecked car overnight from an accident, whether they had insurance or not? When you get a car impounded?
There's probably something I could come up with after all this time, but no, not on a
rule of thumb.
Rule of thumb is we're moving it off the interstate. We're getting it out of there.
In Jackson, and this isn't me. Yeah, screw it. This is me picking on Jackson because I don't see it anywhere else. On 220 especially, I see more wrecked cars. Now, I give it the benefit of the doubt if maybe somebody wrecked it and dipped out. Yeah. And it's there for a minute. And, so it's 12 hours later, the car's still there. But even with that, 2 days later, 3 days later, the car's still there. At what point does a JPD unit pass by and say, hey, we got an abandoned wreck because somebody's wrecked and fled the scene at minimum?
At minimum, yeah.
At minimum here. Maybe stop, run the tags, see if it's stolen. I mean, it seems like a lot of things you could do there to get the car towed. Now, maybe the tow truck companies don't want to deal with it because they know they're never going to get paid for it. Could that be part of it?
But
isn't there a responsibility if you're on the rotation that you kind of have to do that? And if Jerry's listening this morning, maybe he can tell us. Jerry's one of our
what I was going to say was that if a vehicle is left on the side road on the interstate, there is a requirement that it has to be left abandoned for 5 days before it can be moved.
What if it's wrecked?
Now, if it's wrecked, that may be a different story.
Yeah, I know. Because you're right, you'll see the orange sticker on
Right.
them. This car must be moved by this date.
Exactly.
I mean, look, I don't want to go towing people's broke down car. Maybe they ran out of gas and they ain't got back yet, and then car got towed.
Unless it's in the road,
Yeah.
it's probably going to get left there if it's just on the side.
But a clearly wrecked vehicle, there ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This thing is all caught up in the cable.
Clearly wrecked, it's going to get moved. And
Yeah.
don't get me started on them center cables.
Yeah, they're a nightmare, but they do work, I believe.
Yeah, they work to throw the car back out in the road in the lane it came from and hit a bunch of other people. So.
Witnessed it with my own eyes. Fred Shanks and I were leaving this radio station one day, heading back south, right about the same exact location that this happened at. Oh no, that was a different wreck him and I saw. The one I'm talking about, a car was, I was in the fast lane, and I always look, if I'm in the fast lane, I like to, if there's no cars around me, I don't care what lane I'm in.
Right.
You know, so I work my mirrors. I'm a defensive driver. I'm an offensive driver, offensive and defensive driver. I'm always working my mirrors and always kind of looking over my head because stuff can get in your blind spots. And man, I don't know where this car came from, but I was in the fast lane. I went to just kind of change lanes. Let me go and get on over in the right lane, you know. But I was driving 80 miles an hour. I mean, how fast you got to be going? How slow you got to go to not be in the fast lane? How fast can you? Anyway, man, this car comes out of nowhere. I'm like, let me get out of this dang way. So I stayed in my lanes so it could go on around me. Then they must have been on their phone, Creston, because they never checked up. There's an 18-wheeler 100 yards in front of me in the right lane. And that's what I was trying to stay in the left lane long enough to get around it. But it was far enough up that I probably could have got on over, but I was going to get right back over the odds a little bit. Man, I guess they never checked up till they got right to the bumper of that 18-wheeler, and they looked up from their phone and realized they was about to eat the back of that.
Hello, there I am.
They jerked left, and they were in the right lane, mind you. They jerked left, and I mean almost a 90. And they hit that cable basically head on. It shot them back out across, and the 18-wheeler T-bones them.
Mm-hmm.
They went and flipped it and all that stuff, and I didn't stop because I'll be honest with you, I didn't care because that was FAFO in my opinion. I mean, they drove past me going over 100 miles an hour. You know, you play with fire, you get burned. And plus, what was I going to do other than just be in the way, to be honest? So I going around it, but they went from almost rear-ending the 18-wheeler to getting T-boned by the 18-wheeler. Now you got to think about how fast they were going and the 18-wheeler never slowed down to turn from rear-ending it to bouncing off the cable and being thrown back in front of it to get T-boned. Like, just think about how fast something goes by you when you tap your brakes.
Yeah. Well, everybody always says there's two things that are certain, and that's death and taxes. Well, there's a third thing you can add to that, and it's called physics.
Yeah. Yep. Physics, not what goes up must come down. What bounces off must come back. Anyway, that was crazy. But I just posted the pictures of some random 3-car pileup on 220. Thank you, Roger, for sending me the pictures. I couldn't get one this morning because I rolled up on it and it was almost still dark when I come through. And I rolled up on it and couldn't get my phone out quick enough to get a picture before I realized what I was looking at. So that's on my Facebook. I'll post it on X and Instagram too. Y'all can check that out at SaveJXN. Let's take a break real quick and we'll be right back here on the Clay Edwards Show.
.1039 WYAB.
When leaks, clogs, or cold showers slow you down, call on Anglin Plumbing, the plumbing experts who get the job done right the first time. Leaky faucet, sink, or toilet? Need a water heater installed? Call on Anglin Plumbing. You can always trust Anglin's reliable and hardworking technicians. Don't let plumbing headaches ruin your day. Call on Anglin Plumbing Service to get it fixed. And you can be a part of the team. Anglin Plumbing is now hiring. Learn more about Anglin Plumbing at anglinplumbing.com.
Got a car, truck, or SUV you are trying to sell? Well, we want to buy. Hi, I'm Casey Ellis, owner of Ellis Autoplex in Brandon. Right now, we're paying top dollar for clean vehicles, and you don't have to buy anything from us. We'll appraise your vehicle, make you a strong offer, and you can walk away with a check the same day. No marketplace maniacs or Craigslist crazies here. Our checks are real. If you've been thinking about selling, well, now's the time. Ellis Autoplex in Brandon is home of Little Truck City. Follow us on Facebook or shop online, ellisautoplex.com.
The only thing hotter than Mississippi in the summer is a Mississippi summer when the power goes out. This summer, be ready. Call Cowden Electric. They can install a permanent standby generator that automatically kicks on the second the power fails and keeps your whole house running. Hey, you already got a portable generator? Call Cowden Electric and let them set it up so you can safely plug it into your breaker box and power just the essentials. Don't wait for the next outage. Call Cowden Electric today or visit CowdenElectric.com and stay powered up when the grid goes down. CowdenElectric.com.
When seconds making a play, short's got it covered.
A winning insurance strategy doesn't rely on one person.
Good hustle,
Two things: communicate with your guys and make sure everyone's in the right coverage. It takes a team that knows its roles well, working together to provide an exceptional experience.
Set the screen. You have to protect yourself. 1, 2, 3, Wildcats!
At Shelter Insurance, you can count on our local agents and award-winning customer service to help you protect what matters most.
Come see me, Jamie Creel, at Shelter Insurance and see why Forbes has rated us #1 in the world.
Hey, Rankin County, swing by the locally owned and award-winning 042 Wine and Spirits on Highway 80 next to Sonny's Barbecue in Brandon today. We've got one of the largest selections around with over 200 bourbons and whiskeys to ignite your taste buds, more than 50 vodkas, 50-plus tequilas, 30-plus rums, and ready-to-drink cocktails, as well as premium scotches. And get this, we've got over 400 wines in stock for the perfect pairing anytime. Discover your new favorites today at 042 Wine and Spirits right next to Sonny's Barbecue, Highway 80, Cross Gates, Brandon.
The Clay Edwards Show live stream on WYAB is brought to you by Mazda of Jackson.
This is the Clay Edwards Show, powered by LiveBetterMen.com.
Contact the show on the Ellis Autoplex text line at 769-241-1944.
Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show. To the person in the live stream, the Mazda of Jackson live stream, complaining about the commercial breaks. While I do appreciate your watching us this morning, your viewership. And I'm not trying to say this to sound sarcastic or anything. I do want to remind the people on the live stream that may be new to this. We are a radio show first here on 103.9 WYAB in Jackson, Mississippi, that just so happens to also stream the show to the internet I like growing the show. I won't pretend there's not selfish motives behind that, obviously, but also as a convenience for people who don't live in the immediate area or not in their car to listen to the radio. So we do have commercial breaks. We are coin operated, so to say. We have great local sponsors here that we like to promote, but we do have a fixed amount of I think it's 4 ad breaks per show. Anyway, you have 3 in the middle and then the bookends, so however you want to look at it. So like about 20 minutes of each hour is commercials. However you want to slice that up. About 40 minutes of every hour is the show, is us talking. And we appreciate our great sponsors, and I try to balance it out, but there's only so much I can do. I've tried to make my ad reads as short as possible without shortchanging the sponsors, but there's nothing I can do about the commercials in the middle. We've actually shortened it up a little bit. To be honest with you, I think it's about 30 seconds shorter than they used to be. So, but we do our part. But at the end of the day, we are sponsor driven here. Unless everybody wants to commit to $20 a month, I need about 500 of you. Commit to about $20 a month. We'll take this thing internet only, baby, and we won't run any commercials. But until then, we are commercial powered, and we got another one set coming up here in about 40 seconds. So look. How about this? How about we end this hour telling you about our great friends right over there at Lakeland Glass and Tint. If you need your vehicle, home, car, or business windows tinted, reach out to Lakeland Glass and Tint and let them get it taken care of for you today. If you need any automotive glass repair or replacement, they got you covered there as well. And of course, they are your one-stop shop for paint protection film, vehicle wraps, and ceramic coating. One-stop shop, LakelandGlassandTint.com, located in Flowood. We'll be right back.
This is Central Mississippi's Stimulating Talk.
103.9 WYAB, Pocahontas, Jackson. Sherry Preston. First responders rushing to a festival in downtown Seattle as shots ring out. After the gunfire ended, 3 people were dead and 4 were left injured.
A bullet landed into the tree that was right next to us.
Ava Hendricks was at the festival with her family when the gunfire erupted.
It was very scary. And after the whole thing was over, and we're just waiting for the police to come. And we're just looking at each other like, how are we still alive? How did we make it through that?
One suspect has been taken into custody. Police say another suspect is still on the loose.
That's ABC's Alex Stone on the scene. Among those hurt, police say a 2-year-old boy. A pause in the fighting between the U.S. and Iran as diplomatic efforts continue. Another factor, though, possible depleting numbers of Patriot missiles defensors. ABC's Rachel Scott is in Washington.
Mike Waltz, the president's ambassador to the United Nations, appeared to acknowledge a lot of stockpiles have been depleted, but also said the U.S. has everything it needs to carry out its campaign against Iran. And officials, of course, are also making it clear while the president prefers diplomacy, he can always put military action back on the table, as he has done before.
Remember all the fear over the new world screwworm in cattle supplies. Well, the fear is still out there, but affordability is now a bigger issue. ABC's Jim Ryan is in Dallas-Fort Worth.
A major reason for soaring beef prices is the ban on imports of Mexican livestock imposed last year to keep the parasitic New World screwworm out of the U.S. cattle herd. The screwworm came anyway and has been detected in 42 animals in 15 Texas counties. Now the U.S. is lifting the cattle import ban in hopes of pushing down beef prices.
A massive wildfire in France is no longer growing, the government says, but still a dangerous threat, along with fires burning across Spain as well. Ukrainian President Zelensky will be new British Prime Minister Andy Burnham's first visit today with a foreign leader. You're listening to ABC News.
Well, it's official. My friends have all switched to Pure Talk because I told them they could save a bunch of money on a super reliable high-speed network with unlimited data. And because they're my friends, they trust me. As for the rest of you, well, Pure Talk understands that even though you might like me, you're not just going to take my word for it, nor should you. For that reason, and for a very limited time, Pure Talk is offering any of their plans for just $15 a month for the first 3 months, including their top-tier unlimited plan that normally sells for $65 a month. Think of it like a test drive, a super simple way to save $150 while you kick the tires on Pure Talk's blazing fast network, and a fine way to see for yourself why I switched from big wireless, along with a few 100,000 of my closest friends. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and be connected to Pure Talk's friendly U.S. customer service team. Again, dial pound 250.
News this hour brought to you by Frederick Sales and Service in Brandon and Skag Zero Turn Mowers and Products. Simply the best.
Another week to deal with the heat. The heat index in this part of Mississippi today is expected to be well above 105, and so a heat advisory is in effect. The heat index tomorrow is expected to possibly be up over 110. So for some parts of the area, an extreme heat warning is in effect. The actual high temperatures are near 100 degrees, and that is expected to last for several days before a front comes through for these days, dropping it down to what would be considered a cool down, with temperatures receding into the mid-90s by the end of the week. For this afternoon, the actual high is 98 with a heat index of 110. For tonight, the low is 77, and it's mostly clear. Another sunny day Tuesday with a high at 99, and the heat index expected at 111. With news on 103.9 WYAB, I'm Chris Davis. In Smith County, Kevin Clay Adams was last seen 3:30 Saturday afternoon, and the deputies there say they are now starting to look in the Bienville National Forest instead of the place where the incident happened, where they say he fired a gun at them in Polkville. That went down as Adams was being arrested and was able to get a gun from his truck and shoot toward deputies. A fatal shooting about 1 o'clock Sunday morning in Jackson on Claiborne Avenue. The man who was shot was hit with several bullets, say police, and he has been identified as 19-year-old Jeremiah Haggins. Police have not said much about the circumstances of the shooting. They also have not announced any arrests and are asking for tips. The man arrested by Atala County deputies last week and charged with a statutory rape and sexual battery of a child under 14 is a lieutenant with the Atala County Fire Department. He was ID'd as 42-year-old Jonathan Dees. More news in 1 hour on 103.9 WYAB. I'm Chris Davis.
Doctor, the AC doctor, what's your
diagnosis. My whole house was hot as a fever. Now my house frozen, cause my air conditioning's on. Doctor, doctor, my AC's broken. Doctor, doctor, the AC doctor, heal my house, bless my soul.
The AC Doctors is your one-stop provider for air conditioning and heating installation, service, and repair. Contact us for money-saving repairs and lower energy bills.
Doctor, doctor, the AC doctor, heal my house, bless my soul.
Google the AC Doctors and get some relief today. TheACDR.com.
The views and opinions expressed in this program are the individual views and opinions of the people expressing them and do not necessarily reflect those of this radio station, its parent, affiliated, or related entities, agents, or employees.
Welcome to the Clay Edwards Show. More adrenaline.
You know, it's a pretty interesting time to be alive. What's the saying? May the times you live in be interesting. We have accomplished that.
And more testosterone for your morning drive.
But when you know you've got a problem, how about tell people what's going on?
Going to war on cancel culture and bringing the spotlight on issues and topics from around the city of Jackson.
I feel like Jackson, Mississippi.
No one else wants to talk about.
The whole system is corrupt and evil. It's unreal. And they don't care. And everybody knows that. It's just sad.
And fights for the soul of America.
I'm going to need y'all to explain to me what a positive solution is, because you positive solutions only people have been in charge for a while now. And I'm not seeing too many positive solutions.
You never met a motherfucker.
Strap in, turn up the volume.
Boom goes the dynamite. Finally got it right. You tuned in to the Free Range Human Show Choice, your daily dose of reality radio. It's hour 2 of the most incendiary show on the RADIO, the Clay Edwards Show. 50,000 megawatt flamethrower is what we broadcast on. That's 103.9 WYAB. We stream worldwide on the Mazda of Jackson live stream over on all your favorite social media platforms at SaveJXN or at Clay Edwards Show. YouTube, X, Facebook, Rumble, and Twitch. You can find it. Just search one of those two and it will pop up. We are powered by the free testosterone screenings over at Live Better Men's Health and Wellness. Guys, what are you waiting for? Text Clay to 601-633-9017 today, or go by livebettermen.com. Reach out to Scott McCullough and get you a free testosterone screening today. Real quick, I have just received a fresh stock of books from AJ Rice. We've interviewed AJ before on his last book, the White Privilege album. He has got a new book that just came out. You can find it over on Amazon, called The Curse of the Bearded Lady. And if you are on the live stream, you can see the book there as I'm holding it up. This is Lindsay Beckham's copy that I brought her, because this is right in her wheelhouse. But it's called The Curse of the Bearded Lady, How the Trans Mafia Whacked American Sanity. Going to be a good read here. I've got 3 extra copies to give away. 3 copies to give away of this book. So stay tuned on how you can win those books. And sadly, I know we gave away some of his last books, and I lost the winners' names. So I still have the books. If you won last year when we interviewed AJ, if you won one of his books and I didn't give it to you, let me know. I still have the books, and I will get it to you. Just try to prove to me that you won. I don't know why you would lie about it, but if you can find an old screenshot or something where I told you that you won, please send me that, and I will make sure you get your book. But I lost that, and I completely forgot about it and forgot to mention it again. But I do have the books that we gave away last year when we interviewed him. I don't know if he wants me to wait and give these away when we interview him again. I think we're going to have it one day next week, or if I can give them away before then. But support it is my point. We have authors that aren't afraid to step up and call out the rainbow supremacy and the trans agenda, and they write great books like this. And he does it with a sense of humor as well. It's definitely worth checking out. So it's available on Amazon. I believe it's available on Audible as well. It's called, again, The Curse of the Bearded Lady by AJ Rice, How the Trans Mafia Whacked American Society. And it's got a foreword by Dr. Carol Lieberman. So should be a pretty dang good book. I'm looking forward to getting into mine I kept me a copy. He sent me 5. I kept me a copy. I knew Lindsay would want one, and we're going to give away 3. So if that's something that interests you, let me know, and we'll see if we can get you a copy. But get out and support it. Support these kind of authors. I'm going to buy the Audible version to go along with it. I always do. Anytime somebody gives me a book, there's an Audible version, I buy that because I'm just going to be honest with you. It's easier for me to listen to a book in my vehicle than it is for me to open one and read it. And it was one of my many faults that I just don't have the attention span to open a book and read them. But I don't mind listening to them on my 40-minute each way trip to and from. I'm listening to the 48 Laws of Power again now. Really good book. If anybody's interested in some really good self-help type stuff, 48 Laws of Power is one you should already have read. But really good. I'm back on the 3rd chapter, I think, 4th chapter, something like that. Talking about not telling your enemies every move. You don't have to announce everything you're doing. Sometimes you can just do it. It's always a good reminder to hear that. All right, real quick, this segment is going to be brought to you by our friends over at Cowden Electric. If you need a generator, full home power generator, emergency generator hooked up, so when the power kicks off, your power kicks on, or stays on, should I say. The power kicks off, the generator kicks on. You ain't got to do anything. Just have it. It knows, it's smart. It understands when the power quits working, and it knows how to kick itself on. Reach out to Marty and the team. Let them come out and get you an estimate, figure out which one works best for you. They work statewide. Now, look, if you're outside the Tri-County area, understand that a lot of this can be done by photos and pictures, and photos and pictures are the same thing, but by photos and a little bit of information about your house, square footage, what size air conditioners, all that good stuff. And he can get you a pretty good guesstimate together on about what it's going to cost. And then once you come out and look at it in person, get you an exact to the penny estimate. That way you can decide if it's even in your price range or not, or something you want to mess with. But don't be dragging that man 3 hours away to give you a free estimate that can be done by phone. But that's just me kind of ranting at you there a little bit, but he does work statewide, and they do free estimates. They also, of course, are hooking up. If you bought a Tesla or any other kind of electric vehicle and you need to get the power charger hung on the wall and hooked up and all that stuff, they do that as well. And of course, they got you covered on any service calls that you may need. You need a ceiling fan, need some security lighting, new construction, remodel, any stuff like that, they got you covered as well. That's Cowden Electric, over 50 years in business right here in Central Mississippi. COWDEN electric.com, CowdenElectric.com, locally owned and locally operated. All right, let's see here, brother. We've been talking a lot about the toy guns, black kids and toy guns, but I'm mentioning black kids because that's what I saw. That's what my friend saw. And I think it's relevant because if said black kid was to get killed by somebody over a toy gun, it would be 100% about race. And y'all wouldn't have shot a white kid if you had seen him with a toy gun and all this other stuff. And you know what? I've been debating that with myself here a little bit this morning. If I saw that, and if it was a white kid, not a black kid with a toy gun, how would I react? And I would like to think that I would react equally. But, I go back to what the culture promotes itself as every time I open up the internet. What do I see on the internet every time I open it up? Black on black violence, black on white violence, black men, young men being violent is what my algorithm shows me constantly. Now, yours may show you something different. I'm just telling you what mine shows me. And, so I don't know. I'm just being honest with you. And I probably shouldn't be here. I probably should be like, oh, no, I'm 100%. It'd be equal. I would do both things equally. I don't know. Just being honest, based on what I see on the interwebs, I would like to think I wouldn't shoot first. I would like to think I'd like, drop it. But that ain't real life. I'm guessing. Creston, is that real life?
All I can say is you got about half a second to decide if that gun in that person's hand is real or not. And like I said before, you're to treat all weapons as if they are loaded. So you're expected to be loaded, whether it is or not.
Yeah.
And there the chips will fall where they may.
Sad situation. Could be a sad situation. Sometimes that it has, in fact, been a sad situation. Prominent examples include Tamir Rice, black girl, age 12, Cleveland, Ohio, playing a recreation center park with an airsoft, playing at a recreation park with an airsoft pellet pistol orange tip removed. A 911 call reported a person with a pistol that was probably fake, and the individual's, it has quotes, probably fake, and the individual probably a juvenile, but that information was not relayed to responding officers. Officers arrived. Rice reached toward his, Rice is a guy, I'm sorry. Rice reached towards his wristband. One officer fired within roughly 2 seconds. Yeah, I mean, he gave him a second and a half more than he should have, striking him in the torso. He died the next day. No criminal charges were filed against the officer. After grand jury review, surveillance video and details are widely covered. That's a name I've heard a lot. I wasn't 100% sure what happened, but when I heard that name fall out of Ben Crump's mouth, I knew that the cops were innocent. Just being honest with you there. I'm always honest with y'all. It's a problem with me, is I'm way too honest when I should keep my mouth shut. They told me that on the 48 Laws of Power. Don't always be honest, but I just don't know any other way to be. Andy Lopez, Hispanic, age 13, Santa Rosa, California, 2013. Walking while carrying an airsoft replica of an AK-47 style rifle. Orange tip missing. Sonoma County Sheriff deputies ordered him to drop it. As he turned with the barrel rising, a deputy fired multiple shots, killing him within seconds of contact. Ruled justified self-defense, no charges. The replica closely resembled a real assault rifle. Tyree King, black, age 13, Columbus, Ohio, September 2016, involved in a reported armed robbery of a small amount of money. BB pellet gun with a laser sight was used or present. He and another fled police into an alley. Officer said he reached for, pulled what appeared to be a handgun from his wristband. Officer shot him multiple times. The weapon was a BB gun. Grand jury declined charges, found justified. Later, civil jury sided with officer. Police noted the replica looked nearly identical to a department-issued handgun. Antonio Arce, age 14, Tempe, Arizona, 2019, found burglarizing a truck while holding a non-lethal airsoft replica. Officer fired, shot when he was running away. Body cam captured. Officer later realizing it was a toy and reacting with, it was just a effing kid. It's a effing toy gun. Prosecutors reviewed the case. That's all it says there. It doesn't give me any more details. I'm guessing that he didn't get charged.
No, I don't believe he did.
Thank you. It says other cases, Nicholas Hayward, black, 13, New York City Housing Project, 94, playing with a toy gun and cops and robbers game, shot by a housing officer. Doesn't give me any details. It's got a few more, and it's got some broader patterns here. And I don't mean to bog y'all down reading too much stuff. It's got some broader patterns. I'm not going to read all that. Then I asked it, I said, I'm seeing a bunch of, and again, I like to tell y'all the prompt that I put in to get the answers I got. The prompt I put in to get this was, I'm seeing a bunch of young black kids where I live in central Mississippi LARPing in front of businesses with fake guns, pretending they're robbing folks or each other. And Grok says that behavior is common in parts of central Mississippi and other high crime areas that local police departments have issued public warnings about it. Kids and teens treating realistic airsoft BB or replica guns like props for robbery or assassin games in front of businesses creates exactly the conditions that lead to a tragic case like what we're discussing earlier. And y'all, I don't have to explain to y'all why that's high risk or why it's a problem. It's a problem because other folks don't know what you're doing. And the fact that you're out doing it at 1 o'clock in the damn morning looks really, really suspicious, because nothing good happened after midnight, as Mama said. And Mama was right about that.
Well, let's get this one myth out of the way for the listeners. Police officers don't have to wait to be fired on to fire. If they feel that they are in danger, that they fear for their safety or the safety of others, they can use force that is necessary to stop the threat. That doesn't mean the gun has to be fully pointed at them. If they see the barrel coming up in their direction, you better believe that they may take action. So it's this myth that, oh, the gun wasn't pointed at them or they didn't fire at them. I don't know where people get this from, but it's not true.
I call that it's like bro science. That's bro law. You know, bro science at the gym. You know, everybody's got these myths about different ways to gain muscle and stuff that aren't always true. Bro law or street law it's the same thing. Urban legend type stuff. Somebody told them, well, that makes sense. That's what I want to believe, so that's what I'm going to believe. He wasn't even shooting at you. My baby didn't do nothing.
Treat all guns as if they're loaded, and until you know otherwise, whether it's in your hand and you clear it, it's still loaded. So,
I agree. I mean, and look, the police said that My friend called, spoke to a detective at Flowood yesterday, and I only heard one end of the conversation, but I don't know why she would have misquoted. You know, he basically said, and I'm kind of paraphrasing here, that this is a big problem out there in Flowood. They had 10 to 15 calls a week, which I know that seems astronomically high for something like that, but maybe it's multiple people calling on the same incident. Some, I don't know. And that they've tried talking to the mamas, the kids, and like, it's just like falling on deaf ears that unless they ain't nothing they can do about it except continue to tell people don't play with toy guns in public. I mean, I know I got on this show a couple of years ago, maybe 2 years ago, and ranted and raved and kind of went at my friends, my SRO officer friends out there at Northwest Rankin about over punishing a kid with a toy gun, with an airsoft gun that I guess a picture of him with it on campus or at his car or something floated around the internet, and they kicked in his door and expelled him from school and charged him with a felony and all kind of stuff. I was like, that just seems a bit extreme for a toy gun. But, you know, I got to tell you when I'm wrong. You know, after further thought, I don't know that it was extreme. You know, I really don't, because you got to look at the potential consequences that could come from that, and death being one of them. You know, is that extreme, or is that a valuable lesson taught early in life that saved his life? You know, like being expelled from school and having to sit it out and realizing toy guns, real guns, they ain't no difference to the naked eye.
None.
Let's take a break real quick, come back and keep this train rolling on down the tracks. We can shift gears, talk about some other stuff. If you want to chime in on this, the phone line is 601-879-0002. The Ellis Autoplex text line is 769-241-1944. And let's read a couple texts real quick before we go to break here. I asked for them, y'all get them, and I'm terrible about not always reading them. Unknown texter says, you don't have to test the threat. Yeah, great point.
No, you do not.
Unknown texter. You would think with all these issues with toy guns, they would stop making them. Well, there's a difference in a toy gun and a non-lethal gun. Like the airsoft guns, or what I would call non-lethal. It's a BB gun, right? A pellet gun of sorts.
Yeah, they usually shoot those plastic BB types.
Yeah. So look, I don't want to sit here and say ban anything, because I think it's a rite of passage for young kids. You better play cops and robbers and have toy guns and do these things. But at some point, you know, parenting has to step in. Like, we can't ban our way out of stuff.
You can't make enough laws to make people do right.
Yeah, you can't legislate morality, as they say.
That's exactly right.
I mean, I saw where they're banning the really potent kratom, the 708 stuff. And while we can have a debate about all that, I don't like banning anything. I think that until you can't legislate self-control. And, you know, but whatever. We can talk about it all when we come back. This is the Clay Edwards Show, 103.9 WYAB.
WYAB. A funny thing happens to a lot of men. One day you're the guy carrying the ice chest, loading the truck, and helping everybody move. Then one day, you're looking for a place to sit down. If your energy, focus, and drive aren't what they used to be, talk to Live Better Men's Health and Wellness. Real answers, personalized treatment, a better way forward. Living better starts at livebettermen.com. That's livebettermen.com.
Grill lovers already know about Grills of Mississippi, and so should you. Grills of Mississippi carries premium Weber grills, Yoder smokers, and outdoor kitchen accessories to take your backyard cooking to the next level. Whether you're a weekend griller or a serious pitmaster, Grills of Mississippi has the brands, the knowledge, and the service to help you do it right. Turn your backyard into the ultimate gathering spot. Visit grillsofms.com today. Grills of Mississippi, where great cooking starts.
It's all systems go this month at Mazda of Jackson. With rates as low as 0% with approved credit, come test drive the all-new, fully redesigned 2026 Mazda CX-5. More room for you and your cargo makes the third-generation CX-5 the best yet. Mazda's best-selling SUV also comes with 1-year maintenance included on your new vehicle purchase. And Mazda of Jackson still specializes in certified pre-owned vehicles with hassle-free trade-in options available. Shop online at MazdaJackson.com or visit Mazda Jackson, I-55 Frontage Road.
For decades, you've known the name Martin's for good times, great food, and the best live music. Now that's happening at 2 locations, downtown Jackson and Livingston. Check the websites martinslivingstonms.com and martinsdowntownjxn.com for the many special events and live music lineups. You can chill with friends on the big patio at the Livingston location and enjoy the blue plate lunches and nightly drink specials. Martin's, downtown and Livingston.
Hey, business owners, want your phones to ring away? Get your name on the airwaves with the Clay Edwards Show today. Tell the town who you are while they're driving in their cars. If you want your business to grow, advertise on the Clay Edwards Show. Contact info at WIAB.com. Contact info at WIAB.com.
Need equipment that works as hard as you do? Come see me, Noah Sullivan, at H&H Chief Sales in Carthage. Thousands of you have already made the short drive to see us at H&H for the state's best deals on CM truck beds, Big Tex trailers, Wells Fargo enclosed trailers, and even rugged Candy electric utility vehicles. At H&H, our equipment is built for the farm, job site, hunting camp, or anywhere around your property. So visit me, Noah Sullivan, at H&H Chief Sales on Highway 35 North in Carthage, or online anytime at hhchiefsales.com.
The Clay Edwards Show live stream on WYAB is brought to you by Mazda of Jackson.
This is the Clay Edwards Show, powered by LiveBetterMen.com.
Contact the show on the Ellis Autoplex text line at 769-241-1944.
Welcome back.
Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show, 103.9 WYAB. This segment brought to you by friends over at how about H&H Chief Sales there in Carthage, Mississippi. You need equipment that works as hard as you do? Go see Noah Sullivan at H&H Chief Sales in Carthage. Thousands of you have already made the short drive to H&H for the state's best deals on CM truck beds, Big Tex trailers, Wells Fargo enclosed trailers, and even rugged Candy electric vehicles. Those are those really cool golf carts, if you're not familiar. They have utility carts too. At H&H, their equipment is built for the farm, the job site, hunting camp, and anywhere around your property. H&H Chief Sales has a big selection, hometown service, and deals that are worth the trip. Visit Noah Sullivan today at H&H Chief Sales, Highway 35 North in Carthage, or online anytime at H&H or hhchiefsales.com. No and in it, just hhchiefsales.com. I want to shift gears for a second. I've heard this story before. I'm just kind of scrolling on Facebook during the break. Hard pivot here. Do y'all remember this? On July 10th, 1973, a 16-year-old John Paul Getty III. He's the grandson of a oil billionaire, J. Paul Getty. He was kidnapped at gunpoint in Rome by members of the Italian criminal organization known as, a word I can't pronounce, Ndrangeta. I'm not even going to try. I just know that a hard R will end up falling out of my mouth trying to pronounce that. The kidnappers demanded $17 million, believing the world's richest man would quickly pay for his grandson's release. Little did they know. Instead, J. Paul Getty refused. He argued that paying the ransom would encourage more kidnapping and famously said, quote, "If I pay 1 penny now, I'll have 14 kidnapped grandchildren," end quote. Some members of the family also initially suspected the teenager had staged the kidnapping himself. For nearly 5 months, John Paul Getty III was held in a remote cave, beaten, threatened, and repeatedly pressured as negotiations stalled. When no payment came, his captors cut off his right ear and mailed it, along with a lock of his hair, to an Italian newspaper, warning that more body parts would follow unless the ransom was paid. Almost finished here. Only then did Getty agree to contribute $2.2 million, the maximum amount that was tax deductible under U.S. law. He loaned the remaining money to his own son at 4% interest. After the ransom was delivered, John Paul Getty III was released alive on December 15th, 1973, near a petrol station in southern Italy, where he later called his grandfather to thank him. J. Paul Getty reportedly refused to take the call. So you think your parents are tight, you think that you think there's white privilege out there, billionaire privilege. I guess not. Be glad your grandfather's not J. Paul Getty. But I mean, hey, look, man, if an ear is all you got to give up and a couple months in a cave to be the son of a billionaire, well, I guess the grandson of a billionaire, would you do that? Would you give it up? I don't know. It ain't as mo money, mo problems, as they say. Mo money, mo problems. That has completely nothing to do with this show. I was just strolling Facebook and thought we could pivot, shift gears a little bit. I want to show something real quick. I got to meet Matt Hughes this weekend. There's a picture if you're watching online. Former UFC champ. I got a picture with the UFC belt there, the real deal, Holyfield, no imitation. That thing is heavy, that belt. I gave it the old FAFO Ric Flair double tap, and I thought he was going to double tap my head for slapping his belt because it rattled a little bit, like it's put together differently, right? Than like the imitation belts. And like you could hear, I was like, crap, this don't fall off or something. You're not saying it was junky or nothing like that. It's just, but it's plated, like it's put together in layers. So it's not like the cheap belts I have that I just bought off Walmart.com or Amazon or whatever and put my bumper stickers on them to make FAFO belts. But anyway, man, super cool. Great story. If y'all don't know, he's dealing with traumatic brain injury after being hit by a train. Somebody said he got hit by a train twice. I don't know, but definitely got hit by a train at least once. And dealing with traumatic brain injury and trying to overcome that. And he's got a great story to follow on social media if y'all want to follow him on Facebook. And he's been drinking this energy drink called Ketones that I guess is owned by, of all people, I think Cletus McFarland is invested in it and somebody else. But I said it's showing cognitive improvements after drinking these ketones, which makes perfect sense if you've ever been in ketosis, where your body starts burning ketones instead of carbs for energy. You also cognitively become much more functional and smarter. You get smarter. Obviously, I'm not burning ketones this morning. I'm burning carbs, but I can't think of words. But just a little FYI out there. But it was cool meeting UFC legend Matt Hughes. He was voted one of the 25 greatest American-born UFC fighters of all time. And if he's not in the Hall of Fame, I'm sure he will be at some point. But really cool there. And I've got some other little quick hits I want to do here. Is it ever a bad time to celebrate the life of the greatest father of all time? I'm not talking about Jesus either, or God. I'm talking about, oh man, my favorite, Gary Plaque, however you say his name, from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. You may remember Gary. Why, Gary? Why? Gary, if you're watching on the Mazda Jackson live stream, I have a photo pulled up. See a man wearing a baseball cap, glasses, and a beard looking like early 80s era Hank Jr. after he fell off the mountain. Standing at a payphone. And there's a fella walking by in a kind of a maroon shirt. What you don't see is the federal agents escorting that fella. Well, that fella kidnapped Gary's son. He was the karate instructor, kidnapped him, took him out to California for a couple of weeks, molested him relentlessly in a hotel, made him fall in love with him almost. Well, Gary found out they had got him, and they were going to be bringing him back through the airport. He was having a drink at a bar with one of the reporters that was following the case, and they had got the news that they were going to be escorting him back to Baton Rouge, and they wanted to get some live footage of it. Well, Gary took it upon himself to put on a disguise, and by disguise, I mean a hat and sunglasses. He's standing at the payphone there when they walk by. He turns around and not a word said, puts that snub nose up, pop.
Judge, jury, and
executioner. Now, what I didn't know was the guy didn't die to the next day. But there's plenty of footage online. You can go type in Gary Plaque, whatever. It's got a QUE at the end of it. PLACHQUE, I think. Anyway, he is our forever FAFO. Not champ, but just FAFO. Yeah, I guess he could be the champ, but usually the champ wins the FAFO. But however you want to look at it, he's Mr. FAFO. And he is the father of the year every year. He's just the man. Somebody said we should name a holiday after him. I'm like, we already do. It's called Father's Day, because he goes down as one of the greatest fathers of all time, doing what I think any of us would do given the opportunity. And did you know that the only time he spent in jail was the time when they arrested him right here and when he bonded out. He was given 7-year suspended sentence for, I guess, manslaughter of some sort.
More than likely.
And he just died a couple years ago. I came really close to getting the son that was kidnapped to interview on the show, and it just kind of fell through. But I got in touch with the sister and thought I had it, and couldn't quite land the plane with the interview. But either way, what made me think about this, and if y'all are looking on the live stream, you see that it says what trying that in a small town actually looks like. And I bring that up because it's been 3 years this week since Jason Aldean released the very controversial #1 song, Try That in a Small Town. And that wasn't just a #1 country song. That was a #1 overall song, like on the Hot 100 or Billboard 200 charts or whatever. That was the all genre #1 song, which I believe was the first of his career to be all genre #1, 20 plus years into his career. But just puts Jason on another level. But they had the video, and it was filmed in Georgia in front of like an old courthouse. Well, of course, the wokesters, the culture was like, that old court, this wasn't no accident. This is about blacks people. That was filmed in front of a courthouse that they used to have hangings in front of. Like, he's like, I think it was from his hometown or something like that, where they filmed this. He's like, that had nothing to do with it. He's like, that's where I'm from or whatever. You could say that about any old courthouse in any town in Mississippi. I imagine if you wanted to, that there was probably hangings in front of an old courthouse in Mississippi. You know, these little old small towns like that. I mean, if we're gonna play that game, but I got a kick out of that. Try that in a small town. Just what a uproar that got everybody in. Like, just the things that we get to fighting about.
Yeah, I hear that down at the courthouse in Raymond, there's still evidence of the hanging chamber.
I'm sure it is. I mean, try that in a small town. But here's the thing is, they made all that big fuss about this, but ain't nobody tried that in a small town since then. I ain't seen not a single riot in a small town. If you're talking about the stuff that he was highlighting in that video, like all the BLM protests and riots and all that crap, you ain't seen that in a small town. I mean, when y'all come doing your little purple shirt marches through Ocean Springs and these other places and Senatobia, we ain't seeing all that in a small town. When y'all go burning stuff down and rioting and looting, like, you're allowed to march, you're allowed to have your protest, but we ain't seen any of that 2020 nonsense in a small town, have we?
It's a mostly peaceful protest.
It is a actual peaceful protest, like 100% peaceful protest in these small towns, because I believe people know in these small towns, good guys outweigh the bad.
Well, like you, I agree with you 100%. If you want to protest, it is your right to do so.
Hell yeah.
You just can't break the law doing it.
Yeah. And don't burn a building down or loot or catch a car on fire or anything illegal while you're doing it, then you're fine. Protest all you want. I mean, I've supported everybody since I've been in downtown Brandon. We had the goon squad situation, and that led to a bunch of protests there at the sheriff's department. No violence. Keep it that way. And we rarely even talk about your protest. But when you go to getting violent, people are going to go into protection mode and can't be held responsible. And this circles back to your kids with the toy guns. You don't want to do that in a small town, because good old boy in a small town going to see it and be like, this is what I've been training for.
What the guy in Landman say? He says that's the reason everybody in Texas is so friendly is because they know everybody's got a gun.
That's it, man. That's it. That's when we played that video last week of the black guy talking about the movement he was starting to, for all black boys, 21 and up to have guns. Like, they're not the men by that point, technically. They're not boys anymore. They're men. Boys to men, ABC, BBD. They're all men at that point. But hey, whatever. I think everybody that can legally own a gun should own one, as long as you're not a mental case. And if you're a mental case, you have the right to own a gun. I just don't think you probably should. But that's the decision that you got to make. You know you better than I know you. But if you're bipolar or anything like that, manic depressant. What's the other one that's so bad?
Schizophrenia.
That's it. Paranoid schizophrenic. You do not need a gun. I mean, I hate it for you. I don't think you need a gun. I know it's not a popular thing to say, but I'm not 100% against these red flag laws. I'm just going to be honest with you. Why I'll never vote for them if I was given the opportunity is I just don't trust the enforcement of them. Because who determines who's crazy?
Well, it's like who determines a hate crime.
That's right. I mean, in theory, I don't think paranoid schizophrenic people should have. That should be a red flag.
Who determines hate speech?
All right, the left, humans, and I damn sure don't want a machine doing it. Let's take a break. We got to do a little bit of small town stuff, like pay the bills. Y'all should try that sometime. We'll be right back on the Clay Edwards Show, 103.9 WYAB with Creston Birch.
.9 WYAB.
This is Central Mississippi's Stimulating Talk.
103.9 WYAB. Pocahontas, Jackson.
For over 2 decades, A1 Gear and Auto has been your hometown specialist for auto repair and maintenance. Brake repair and replacement, radiators, engines, starters, alternators, heat, AC, and water pumps. A1 will get your vehicle back up and running fast. A1 is one of the only shops in the metro that specializes in rear differentials, rear ends, rings, and pinions. A1 Gear and Auto, Highway 49 in Florence. A1 Gear and Auto, your trusted auto repair shop.
Remember when Saturday meant tackling 3 projects before lunch? Now you need a nap after buying the lumber. It doesn't happen all at once. Energy slips away a little at a time. Focus does too. The team at Live Better Men's Health and Wellness helps men get answers to low testosterone, fatigue, weight gain, and more. Because getting older is mandatory. Feeling old is optional. Learn more at livebettermen.com. That's livebettermen.com.
Looking for adventure, amazing food, and a little relaxation all in one place? You'll find it at Cypress Point Resort in Brandon. Load up the family and experience a real drive-through safari, petting zoo, and thrilling guided Jeep tours. Then slow it down with mouth-watering steaks at the steakhouse or grab drinks and live music at the tavern. Planning a wedding or reunion? Cypress Point Resort has beautiful venues and cozy lodging. Ready for your big day or just a weekend escape? It's everything you love about the outdoors with a touch of luxury. Cypress Point Resort. Wild fun right around the corner.
Hi, Kim Wade here. Hot weather requires us to run the AC nonstop. Pure Air Consultants can inspect your unit today to ensure your AC is operating at peak performance. Pure Air Consultants is your go-to Rheem partner that can get the job done and have you resting in comfort in no time. Locally owned and operated, they have proudly served our community for over 22 years. Contact Pure Air Consultants today at mypureairconsultants.com. Rheem and Pure Air Consultants to the rescue.
Tired of the brutal Mississippi sun beating down on your ride or home? Lakeland Glass and Tint in Flowood has you covered. They specialize in professional window tint for cars, homes, and businesses using premium Expel film, plus top-tier paint protection film, ceramic coatings, and full vehicle wraps. Change your truck's color or turn it into a rolling billboard without an expensive paint job. Get a free quote today at LakelandGlassandTint.com. That's LakelandGlassandTint.com. Lakeland Glass and Tint, Central Mississippi's tint and wrap pros.
With a single handshake, John Ravenstein buys millions in diamonds, and that's the buying power it takes to be Mississippi's direct diamond importer.
You see, we sell so many diamonds, the finest diamond cutters from around the world come to us.
He's got the $1 million handshake.
I'm John.
And I'm Rachel Ravenstein. That's why here at Juniker Jewelry, you'll shop from 10 times the loose diamonds you'll find in average jewelry stores.
Because finding just the right diamond at the right price The perfect diamond for her is what Juniker Jewelry is all about.
Best of all, we guarantee the lowest price in the state. We even have 12 months interest-free financing for qualified buyers.
So when you're ready, we're ready at Mississippi's direct diamond importer. And I want to shake your hand
and make her the happiest girl in the world.
Juniker Jewelry Company, Mississippi's direct diamond importer. From anywhere in Mississippi, we're at 1485 Highland Colony Parkway, just south of 463 in Madison, and junikerjewelry.com.
When leaks, clogs, or cold showers slow you down, call on Anglin Plumbing, the plumbing experts who get the job done right the first time. Leaky faucet, sink, or toilet? Need a water heater installed? Call on Anglin Plumbing. You can always trust Anglin's reliable and hardworking technicians. Don't let plumbing headaches ruin your day. Call on Anglin Plumbing Service to get it fixed. And you can be a part of the team. Anglin Plumbing is now hiring. Learn more about Anglin Plumbing at anglinplumbing.com.
The Clay Edwards Show live stream on WYAB is brought to you by Mazda of Jackson.
This is the Clay Edwards Show, powered by LiveBetterMen.com.
Contact the show on the Ellis Autoplex text line at 769-241-1944.
Welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show, 103.9 WYAB, with guest host Creston Birch. Guys, if y'all want to sponsor some radio shows, we got some around here that we're always looking to fill some spots with. We're looking to get Creston launched. If you want to support a 30-year law enforcement officer looking to get into talk radio, he's a couple sponsors away from being able to launch his show. You can email me, clay@wyab.com, clay@wyab.com. I'll get you in touch with Creston. Or you can give him a follow over on the social medias at Bourbon Diplomacy with a Y on everything but X. On X, it's just Bourbon Diplomacy without a Y at the end. Or again, just reach out to me and I'll get y'all in touch. I'm not trying to get a percentage of his stuff or anything like that. My email is just easier to give out, clay@wyab.com. Get in while the prices are affordable, and you'll be grandfathered in, because once it takes off, prices go up. The introductory offer expires. And
are you trying to say I'm cheap?
I'm trying to say we all start out cheap. It's not cheap, it's affordable.
Affordable. There you go.
That's why they call it affordable housing instead of cheap housing. We're affordable. You don't want to buy a cheap car. You want an affordable car. So, and the Clay Edwards Show, it's affordable too compared to what you'll pay on other radio stations, and with 10 times the audience over here. So reach out to me if you want to advertise on the Clay Edwards Show. It costs a little bit more money, but you get what you pay for. Clay@wyab.com. I got several spots available. I haven't been out hustling the sales like I need to be, and I could use. I got a couple spots. I got a couple holes I need to plug here on the ship. So reach out to me, clay@wyab.com, and I'll make you a great deal, man. You buy a full Clay Edwards package, and I'll get you hooked up with a good deal on a Lindsey Beckham show, maybe a Creston Birch show here in the future, Andrew Gosser. Kim's show pretty much stays sold out as well. So you buy a Clay Edwards package, and for a nominal fee, a little discount, I'll get you hooked up with one of the other packages as well. One of the other shows, you can almost get two, not for the price of one, but you can get two for a really good deal, or three for an even better deal. So I have the power of Grayskull to make those things happen. Reach out to me, or if you're a current advertiser and one of the other sales guys is your agent, reach out to them. All right, man, let's jump back into it. You brought up a point up during the break that I asked me, did I see Tate Reeves respond or talk about Ben Crump and Al Sharpton causing divisiveness and hate in Mississippi? And I did see that. I'm not going to go dig up the exact quote, but long story short, that's what he said. And one thing I know about Tate Reeves is Tate Reeves doesn't do a lot of knee-jerk commenting on anything. He has licked the finger, and he has seen which way the wind is blowing. And Tate Reeves ain't commenting on that to that extent if Tate Reeves ain't been tipped off, and this is just my opinion, if Tate Reeves ain't been tipped off about what this investigation is showing. Because the last thing Tate Reeves is going to want to have to do is walk anything back this sensitive.
Well, he's also tapped out too. He's out of here after this go around.
Well, he's out of here, but he's my age. I mean, he's got future aspirations.
Are you saying he might want to go to a higher office?
Yeah, I definitely think he wants to go to higher office. I don't foresee Tate on a presidential level. I just don't think it'll fly. I don't think being from Mississippi will fly on a big ticket like that. But I think Mississippi would send Tate to D.C. to replace a Roger Wicker, or anybody like that. Yeah, I don't think he wants to go on a 2-year congressman deal, but I think he'd go for a 6-year Senate seat. And who knows? Well, he may talk one of the others into retiring and appoint himself before he leaves office. I mean, it'd be a power play. I would do it. It ain't like it hadn't been done before.
Well, I mean, if you can give your whole family pardons, I mean, hey, why not?
Yeah, why not? I mean, I don't like Tate. Just like I don't mean like I don't know Tate, but I'm just saying he's done some things I don't like. But a lot of people have. He's done some good stuff too. He just doesn't come across as a guy I want to drink a beer with. And I just know I've heard some stuff from people that know him, and it's like, just not my kind of guy. I mean, but doesn't mean he's not good at what he does. I've voted for Tate several times, and I'll vote for Tate again if he ends up on my ticket at running for Senate or something, depending on who the Republican challenger is in the primary. I most likely will vote for Tate just because he's got a track record that says more times than not he's going to do right by Mississippi.
Well, that's one thing I've not been able to do over the last forever is vote for my congressman in my district.
Yeah. You ain't voting for Boom Boom?
Well, I can't vote for him because I don't vote on the Democratic side of the ticket. And he's going to win the Democratic side of the ticket, probably again.
Yeah.
And he'll get elected again.
Yeah. Well, you can go vote on the Republican.
Oh, absolutely. And I do.
Yeah.
I vote against him every time if I can, but I think my vote doesn't really count.
Well, hopefully with this Supreme Court case or the 9th District case, whichever one it was, about the redlining, or not redlining, but about the mandatory minority districts, or minority majority, however you say it.
The Calais case out of Louisiana.
Yeah, hopefully with that, Benny will be done here in a couple of years. I'm really surprised they didn't force it here this last go around, this upcoming elections, but the primary's already been held and all that. So I get it, but the Democrats, I always look like, would the Democrats do it to us? And we got to quit being the bigger people. And if that is the one thing I could control, it would be convince Republicans we got to quit being the bigger people. We got to. You have to ask yourself, what would the Democrats do? Get you a little wristband, WWDD. What would Democrats do? Yeah, WWDD. And if it, in moral situations, do the opposite. In political situations, do the same thing, or worse, or better, depending on your perspective. I was talking to the girlfriend last night, and I'm gonna rattle some cages with this one. I asked her, I was like, we were talking about World War II, we were talking about the Jews and Holocaust and stuff, and how that conversation came up. I saw a preview for a show on HBO Max. It may be old, it may be new, I don't know. It wasn't Man in the High Castle, but it was another version of that on HBO that showed like an alternate history to the ending.
Kind of what if thing.
Yeah, kind of alternate history. It was like a 6-part fictional show. Yeah. It's like the American firsters won, and they're running all the Jews out of America and all this. And it's like 1945. It's post World War II. I really don't know what it was about. I'm trying to decide the angle. Is it a pro-Jew or anti-Jew angle? I ain't quite figured it out. I got to watch it. It looks good either way. But that led to the conversation of, I asked her, I said, do you think that if the Democrats could pull the trigger, if he put it on the ballot and the Democrats were in control, to crank the ovens up and send every Trump supporter through it, do you think they would do it? She didn't hesitate. She goes, hell yes. I said, exactly. They would 100% crank the ovens up and send every one of us through it if the Democrats were left up to their own devices. I was like, and that's just, that is the mentality I have with them, is what would they do? Would they do it to us? Do it to them before they do it to us. I'm not saying send anybody through an oven. I'm just making a point that that's what they would do to us. So any opportunity you have to screw them, if it's redistricting, if it's whatever, if it's early voting, voter ID, this Save America Act, any of that, pass that crap. We're talking about people who would send us through ovens if they were in control, given the opportunity. And based on some of the things I've seen online, I don't know how far away we are from them trying that. And I'm not even being hyperbolic.
New York, anyone?
Yeah, exactly. We got to take our last break. Online, we're going to stay with y'all through the break and say bye to y'all separately. Radio, don't go nowhere. We'll be right back. Oh, I got to do a third hour today. I forgot I'm doing a third hour today. I forgot I said I would cover for Matt Bishop. So y'all got me for another hour. You're welcome to stay if you like.
Be happy to if you'll let me.
Oh, looks like we're here for a third hour. I completely forgot. Let me finish typing this. Yeah, I agree to do things a week ago, and I do not write stuff down like I need to. We're here for another hour. So with that said, I'm not going to waste any of that third hour talking to y'all right now. We'll be right back.
The power fails and keeps your whole house running. Hey, you already got a portable generator? Call Cowden Electric and let them set it up so you can safely plug it into your breaker box and power just the essentials. Don't wait for the next outage. Call Cowden Electric today or visit cowdenelectric.com and stay powered up when the grid goes down. cowdenelectric.com.
If you want the best health care, where do you go? The Mayo Clinic. If you want the best care for your vehicle, where do you go? Mayo Auto Clinic in Raymond. Mayo Auto Clinic does foreign and domestic vehicles and diesel repair. Mayo Auto Clinic has ASE certified techs with over 25 years of experience. You can extend the life of your car or truck when you take it to Mayo Auto Clinic. For cost-effective repairs and maintenance, go to the best, Mayo Auto Clinic. Open weekdays at 7 a.m. Highway 18 in Raymond.
Your roof is constantly exposed to the elements, battling dirt, algae, and stains. But with Watkins Construction and Roofing Roof Wash Service, you can keep it looking like new. A proprietary rooficide treatment is EPA approved, safe, and guaranteed to prevent algae from coming back for at least 2 years. No harsh chemicals, no damage, no black streaks. Just a clean, beautiful roof that lasts. Call Watkins Construction and Roofing at 601-966-8233 or visit nomoreroofstains.com today.
Looking to elevate your ride? Weston Automotive and Rick's Pro Truck have you covered. From rugged bumpers to sleek step bars, Weston's top-notch accessories will transform your truck into a head-turner. And at Rick's Pro Truck, we specialize in custom installations that bring your vision to life. Visit us today for expert advice and unbeatable deals. Weston Automotive and Rick's Pro Truck, where your truck's potential comes alive. Weston and RPT. Trucks live here.
Acme Pizza and Daiquiris is leveling up. A whole new Acme Pizza and Daiquiris is now open at the Reservoir at Beethoven's Boardwalk in Ridgeland, right next door to Cock of the Walk. And the new Acme Pizza and Daiquiris will have all of your old favorites too, like the Acme Dynamite Balls and Garlic Knots, and the best specialty pizzas ever, like the Pig, the Sergeant Pepperoni, the Surf and Turf, and lots more. Come to the all-new Acme Pizza and Daiquiris location on the Res in Ridgeland, next door to Cock of the Walk.
The Clay Edwards Show live stream on WYAB is brought to you by Mazda of Jackson.
This is the Clay Edwards Show, powered by LiveBetterMen.com.
Contact the show on the Ellis Autoplex text line at 769-241-1944.
Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show, 103.9 WYAB. I forgot, we got a third hour of the show today. Been filling in for Matt Bishop today. I agreed to that last week and completely forgot. Thank you to Matt for shooting me a text there, because we would have been soulless, and by soulless I mean soundless, here on the radio this morning if he hadn't shot that text. So yes, I will be filling in for another hour. My cohort will be sitting here with me. If you're listening on the live stream on X, I'm going to be killing that feed because I use that to make my clips, and if it's longer than 2 hours I can't use it. So if you're watching on X, scoot over to YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, or Twitch at Save JXN or at Clay Edwards Show, and you should be able to find it easily. If you are listening on the radio and online currently, you don't have to change anything. I got plenty more topics we can hit as well. Your boy did a lot of show prep. I found a poll that was ran by Vlad TV about the most hated race in America, and he put several up there. I want to discuss the outcomes of that poll. Don't shoot the messenger, please. I have a theory about Nolan Wells' disappearance that I haven't heard anybody else bring up. And then the mayor of South Haven has got him wound up, son, over this mini blind ban. Not ban, but this mini blind enforcement. Basically, if the front of your house looks trashy because your blinds are all out of whack, you could go to jail. And he is not bad at this. We got some of his quotes and more. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back.
This is Central Mississippi's Stimulating Talk.
1039 WYAB, Pocahontas, Jackson.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. 3 dead, 4 hurt, and 1 person in custody. That's the nation's mass shooting in Seattle happening. ABC's Jeff Pogula with more.
This happened during the Bite of Seattle Food Festival. Gunfire erupted shortly after 6 p.m., causing the crowd to scatter. Witnesses describe a chaotic scene.
We saw a few people going to a building, so we went in there, and we went down the stairs, and we just hid in the garage.
A young child is among the wounded, Assistant Police Chief Tyrone Davis.
One of the 4 victims that was taken to the hospital was a toddler.
Detectives believe 2 people were shooting at each other. 1 suspect is in custody. Jeff Pogula, ABC News, Seattle.
Across the middle part of the country, extreme temperatures are building under another heat dome. Here's ABC meteorologist Leslie Lopez.
The heat index climbing up to about 108 degrees. We have that through Wichita. We have it to the south, all the way up to the Midwest, getting into areas of New Orleans, even down to 105 degrees. It's either a heat alert, a heat advisory, or a heat watch.
The extreme heat in Central Europe has helped wildfires grow and led to 300,000 evacuations in France and Spain. ABC's Marcus Moore is along the fire line in Spain.
The air is dry here and there's a constant breeze. It's these exact conditions that are driving some of these fires right now. We're just west of Madrid right now. And this is as far as police are letting anyone go because they say parts of the Avila fire, the largest in this country's history, have flared back up again.
Fighting in Iran on hold as diplomatic efforts take place once again. Mediators say they have achieved progress in getting both sides back to the table.
Oil prices were down overnight thanks to that pause in attacks between the U.S. and Iran. Drivers here at home looking for relief, with gas prices in the last week rising an average of 12 cents to $4.11 per gallon.
ABC's Karen Waugh in Washington. The Odyssey continues captivating audiences. It's earned an estimated $639 million so far. You're listening to ABC News.
That'll be $84.52.
Perfect. Grab the bags, honey. Mom, why do you always check your phone before we pay? I'm just claiming my cash back on the Upside app. Since we're getting the groceries here and we filled up the car on the way, I've already earned enough this morning to pay for that pizza night we're having Friday.
Wait, so the app pays for pizza?
Not exactly, but the cash I earn on stuff we need helps us pay for the stuff we want. It's just a little win for our family every week.
Get more out of your everyday. Upside is the free app that gets you cash back on routine purchases like gas, groceries, and dining out at more than 100,000 locations nationwide. No points, no rebates, just cash back straight to your wallet. Download the free Upside app and use promo code ACT5 to get a $5 bonus on your first purchase. That's promo code ACT5 to get a $5 bonus. Remember, use promo code ACT5.
Offers vary by user and location of participating merchants.
News and weather brought to you this hour by Flora Animal Hospital, where we treat your pets like our own. Visit our website, floraanimalhospital.com.
The heat index today is expected above 110. The actual high temperature is expected at 98 with a heat index at 110 or a little above, says the Weather Service. They have put a heat advisory in effect for our part of central Mississippi. Tonight, the low is 77 and it's mostly clear. Tuesday, the afternoon high is at 99 with a heat index above 110, possibly at 111. And that means an extreme heat warning is in effect. You may be getting a little bit of a cool down by the end of the week with a front coming through and a little bit of rain. You've got news on 1039 WYAB. I'm Chris Davis. A 19-year-old man was shot and killed in Jackson about 1 o'clock Sunday morning, says JPD. That happened on Claiborne Avenue, and police have not discussed the circumstances of the shooting, only saying that the man was shot several times. He has been ID'd as 19-year-old Jeremiah Haggins. No arrests have been made. In Smith County, a man who deputies say was able to get a gun from his truck when he was being arrested and shoot at them Friday still has not been found after running off into the woods near Polkville. Kevin Clay Adams may indeed instead be in Bienville National Forest, says the Sheriff's Department. They have started concentrating their search efforts in that area where they say he has friends. Atala County Fire Department Lieutenant Jonathan Dees, who is 42, is accused of the statutory rape and sexual battery of a person under 14. Dees was arrested Thursday, according to a statement from the fire department. In that statement, they say that he is still employed because they have to go through the legal process and that his employment depends on the outcome of the investigation. No details on what happened have been provided by law enforcement. More news in 1 hour on 103.9 WYAB. I'm Chris Davis.
Did you know that the average diamond changes hands 5 times before it ever reaches a jewelry store? And every time the price goes up. That's nuts.
And that's why the world's finest diamond cutters come directly to Juniker Jewelry. There's no one else between you and your diamond. I'm John.
And I'm Rachel Ravenstein, because we are Mississippi's direct diamond importer with 10 times the diamonds of average jewelry stores.
From cushion cuts to princess cuts, ovals, marquee, and classic round brilliants. They are all here at Juniker Jewelry.
You can't buy a better quality diamond at a lower price anywhere in Mississippi. That's the Juniker Diamond Guarantee.
We even have interest-free financing for qualified buyers.
So guys, you can do this.
Juniker Jewelry, Mississippi's direct diamond importer.
What's nuts would be to shop anywhere else.
Juniker Jewelry, 1485 Highland Colony Parkway, just south of 463 in Madison, and junikerjewelry.com.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are the individual views and opinions of the people expressing them and do not necessarily reflect those of this radio station, its parent, affiliated, or related entities, agents, or employees.
Welcome back in. This is not Matt Bishop. If you notice, this is Clay Edwards. We're filling in for Matt. I got Creston Birch here with me this morning. So you got me for one more hour. I know. Much to the chagrin of everybody. I did tell y'all we were signing off of X. We did. We signed off of X and we're back on X. I didn't even dawn on me. I could just toggle it right back on. So if you do prefer the viewing experience over on X at Save JXN on the Mazda Jackson live stream, you can, in fact, sign back on to X, or again, we're streaming worldwide and live on YouTube. I'm trying to give all the right addresses here. YouTube and X at Save JXN, and Clay Edwards Show on Facebook, Rumble, and Twitch. I'm sorry, I know it's a lot. We try to be everywhere for everybody. We truly do. And then, of course, we cut it all up, podcast it, and put it out too on all the audio only platforms. So at Clay Edwards Show, be sure to like, subscribe, share. All right, man. I've got a Creston Birch in here with me, a former 30-year law enforcement officer. You can find him at Bourbon Diplomacy on social media. If you're looking for him on X, just drop the Y at the end of Bourbon Diplomacy and you'll find him there. And add the Y everywhere else. We've been talking about a bunch of different stuff this morning. We covered earlier. We started the show and kind of had a theme throughout most of it about a lady friend of mine, Flowood, about 1:30 Saturday morning, going through the drive-through there or going inside. I ain't really even sure. I didn't even ask her if she went in or drive-through, but there are a group of kids at the Whataburger there. Black kid hanging out, a bunch of white kids had put to a white girl's head, and it ended up being a toy gun. And we just talked about the potential ramifications of what could happen if the wrong person saw that. And I was real plain and simple. I was like, what would happen if Clay Edwards saw that? And what would be the fallout if I shot first and asked questions later? Y'all think the racial narrative would get brought up? Clay he only did that. Or if pick somebody else, it ain't got to be me. Pick anybody random. If a cop, would y'all say that it was racially motivated? No, that baby wasn't doing nothing. If that had been a white kid, he wouldn't have got shot, all that stuff. And I just disagree. I believe no matter who it was, law enforcement ain't making a racial judgment call. They're going to sit there and do the same thing. They're going to decide what is the potential threat here. And you got about a half second to figure it out. And they're going to try to take control of the situation, I guess, subdue the subject. And I think my partner here agrees with me. You know what? You got about a half second or so to decide,
You got to make a decision for your life.
And the person that got a gun to their head.
That's right.
I mean, and let me just tell you how much of an idiot you still are too. By the way, if the cops pull up and you still got the toy gun to a person's head, it's at that time, it's a really good idea. Drop the gun. You know, like if you see the blue lights coming, you might think to yourself, are they coming here? Are those blue lights coming here? Because I mean, if it makes it to the point that a cop shoots you because somebody else called the cops of you with a toy gun and you heard them coming and they pull up and you still got the gun up, or hell, if you're still even holding it, that's just like home training right there. That's survival of the sickest, my friends, and you didn't make it. Survival. Some say survival of the fittest. I like to say survival of the sickest.
Yeah.
You know, you didn't make it, homie. But look, anyway, so we started the show talking about that. I'm not going to rehash all that. Y'all can if we want. We can if y'all want to on the text line, or you're welcome to call into the show. The phone line is 601-879-0002. The Ellis Autoplex text line is 769-241-1944. A couple other topics we hit. Well, I know we hit the Gary Plackey thing, Plache, the why Gary, why. I love that. That's just never a bad time to bring that story up at least once a year. I forget the exact day it happened on, but every year on the day it happened, it's Gary Plackey Day. Why do I think it's March 16th? Why do I think it's also Stone Cold Steve Austin Day? Can you look it up?
I had it looked up earlier, and I'll go back to it.
I looked it up a dozen times last night on the interwebs. What day of the year it happened on? It happened in 1984 or 85. That I know. 80s were a wild time.
March 16th, 1984.
I was right. Austin 316 Day is also Gary Plackey Day. So that makes perfect sense. Arrive, raise hell, and leave. He opened up a can of whoop ass on him, what he did. And last can he ever had opened up on him. Last can. If y'all aren't familiar, that is the father down in Baton Rouge that blew the pedophile's brains out there in the Baton Rouge airport, that kidnapped his son, took him to California, did terrible things to him. They called him, brought him back, and the father was waiting. And pop, one hit a quitter. And the FBI agents grabbed him. Why, Gary? Why? Why ask why? You know why. You know why. What a stupid question. Why? He violated my son's booty. He kidnapped my son. That's why. Shoot you for asking stupid ass question like that. Why? Why do you think? I mean, what the hell? Now, there's a book. He wrote a book. The family wrote a book, or he wrote a book. I think it's called Why, Gary, Why?
Was that in the time before you could not make money off of criminal activity?
You know, I don't know. Maybe one of the family members wrote it.
Maybe it was. I was going to say maybe it was one of the family members wrote it.
Can you ask?
We can find out.
Yeah, because if I go typing and talking, I won't get either one right. And while you're doing that, we'll pivot here a little bit. Let's talk about the most hated race. Now, DJ Vlad from Vlad TV. Vlad is I think Vlad, based on the first name, is probably some kind of Eastern European, Eastern Bloc descent, whether maybe Germany, Russia, Ukraine, something like that. He's a white guy, but he's very intertwined in the urban community. Got a great YouTube channel if you're into that stuff. He just asked a question. He said, who are the most hated people in America right now? And he did a poll on X. They said white people, black people, Jewish people, or Muslim people. I like how white and black are just separated by race and the other are separated by religion, but he nailed it the way he did it, because that's the way it is. So kudos for not sugarcoating it. I'll give you 3 guesses, and the first 2 don't count. Actually, we'll give you 4 guesses, and the first 3 don't count. Who do you think was the most hated? If you said black people with 36%, you would be right. White people came in third. So most hated are black people. Second most hated are Jewish. Third most hated are white people. And first most hated at 13% are Muslims, according to this unscientific poll that had 199 votes in the first 22 hours. That seems like a really low amount of votes, but whatever. 199 votes, but you know what? A sample size, big enough for a sample size. I voted white people because that's my bias. I feel like we are the most hated people in America, especially white Christian straight men that voted for Donald Trump. Now, if he put Trump supporters up there, I bet you that would have, like as a category in and of itself, I bet you that would have won.
Oh, by a long shot.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Again, if given the opportunity, the Democrats would crank the ovens right on up and send us on through it and wouldn't think twice about it. Black, white, Hispanic, they want to get rid of all of us, especially the gay Trump supporters. They hate them. They hate the gay and black Trump supporters. It is the one time Democrats love to mix and match the gay and the black together. Oh, you're a gay and black Trump supporter? To the oven you go. Social media censors, that is sarcasm. I'm not talking about what I would do. I'm talking about what y'all would do. I'm going to have to delete these videos as soon as we're done with today's show. Their AI is not going to understand my satire. Not at all.
Well, to answer your question about the book,
yeah,
I have found it. Why Gary Why was written by Jody Plachey.
That's the one that got kidnapped.
The son.
Yeah. So if y'all don't know, it's not as cut and dry as you may think. The son, for a long time, resented his father for killing. What's the guy's name? Do you have it handy?
Jeff Doucette.
Doucette, yeah, Jeff Doucette or Doucet or however you pronounce it, and because he had been groomed, and this was no short thing. You know, he was this karate instructor, and he had been grooming him, and then he kidnapped him and took him to California. And
yeah, and in 1984, that term wasn't even on the radar.
No, nope. There's another crazy story similar to that, with not quite the same ending. I can't remember the name of it. It's a Netflix documentary that turned into a meme. So this weirdo guy was living next door to this family. He kidnapped the daughter twice and molested her and all that, and ended up marrying the young daughter because the parents would let him sleep in the daughter's bed because he said it was part of his therapy or whatever. And he's like their best friend. And I think this guy ended up sleeping with the whole family, the husband, the wife, and the daughter. Just one of the crazier stories I've ever heard in my life, but it's a documentary. It's not The Devil Next Door. That's the one about the alleged Nazi concentration camp worker, Ivan the Terrible. But it's another about something like The Something Next Door. I want to say that's the name of it. It's the Netflix documentary. Anyway, kind of similar. These weirdos getting in close with the family. That's how it always happens. Rarely, and you may know this better than me, I just watch the news and read stuff online. I mean, aren't most molestations and stuff of that nature a close family friend or family member?
That seems to be the norm.
Yeah, because they have some access to the child.
Right.
You know, even if it's a teacher or stuff like that, it's still somebody had access.
Somebody that's in close proximity to them.
It's not, rarely is it a kid walking down the street and the white rape van pull up and grab them and get them.
Those things do happen.
100%.
100%.
I was convinced I was going to be kidnapped as a child.
Usually it is someone that is close to the child that ends up doing it.
Much to my surprise and maybe even a little disappointment, I was never kidnapped, as I was not as desirable of a target as I thought I was for the old rape van, kidnap van. I was never offered any candy by a stranger, but you know, I've still got some time left. I like vanilla candy. I don't like chocolate or fudge. I like white flavored candies. Gosh dang it, that sounds racist. That's not what I mean. I like, like sugar cookies, stuff like that. So sugar cookies, especially my favorite. If you're going to kidnap me, the way to do it is obviously concert tickets, but sugar cookies and snickerdoodle. You offer me some fresh baked soft snickerdoodles, like from American Cookie Company.
You're in the van.
I'm in. Like, I'll take the belt off halfway in, getting in. Like, let me make it a little easier for you, But well, this conversation has gone to hell. So, why do y'all think black people are the most hated people in America? I'm talking about the poll here. I'm talking about the poll. Vlad's poll here. It says votes black people as the most hated group in America right now. I have some thoughts. I have some thoughts about why I think that blacks won or lost the poll, depending on your perspective here. And it's because they continue to record themselves doing everything bad and then posting it to the internet and wondering why people are talking about black people. I'm just going to say this. camera phones and body cams have been y'all's kryptonite, and they have set your people back 100 years. For the life of me, I don't understand why you will film yourself breaking the law and putting it on, and then put it on the internet, or why you would film your people knowing that it's a reputational issue at hand here, why you would film your people doing the dumb stuff and put it online. And it's so funny, Creston, and you don't have to comment on this stuff. You volunteered to be here. So I'm going to say what I'm going to say regardless of who's sitting across from me. So I've noticed something kind of weird. So when black folks get to commenting under other black folks, but let me see if I can explain this better. When black folks post videos of black people behaving badly, the culture gets under it and just clowns, and it's all fun and, making fun of the person. Clay Edwards can post that same video with pretty much the same exact context, caption, everything. And it's, why are you hating on a black man? You're a racist. You don't know what his situation was. It's defending Pookie. And this has been one of my biggest things as I started this platform is, why do the good law-abiding black folks that got away from that crap or never had to deal with that crap or still live amongst it because their financial situation dictates that they can't get out of it right now, but they don't participate in it? Because there's a lot of that, right? There's a lot of good folks that are stuck in the middle of a bad area that just can't get out of it, that aren't participating. But that disappoints me the most when those people aren't the ones beating the drum the loudest, calling this stuff out. Well, Clay, you don't understand. People get retribution. You say that, but at some point, somebody's got to stand up and fall on the dang sword. And that's why I'm always like, snitch. Start snitching. Y'all think we all supposed to snitch anytime something happens to somebody like a Nolan Wells? Oh, everybody saw it. Where's the information? Where's the camera phones? Where's the video? Where's the pictures? Y'all all know somebody saw something. That's weird. That's the complete opposite of y'all's reaction when it happens in your neighborhoods and communities. I ain't see nothing. Did nobody see nothing? I wasn't there. I ain't heard nothing. I ain't sent nothing. But we all supposed to magically sense something? I'm adding a T to the end of it on purpose. Again, it's just a double standard. It's mind-boggling to me. It truly is. But that's my sneaking suspicion as to why one of the reasons why black people were voted the most hated group of people in America in this unscientific poll by DJ Vlad. And, it could have something else to do with just the disrespect. And this is my number one thing here, plain and simple, the disrespect of publicly shared places. Movie theaters, restaurants, food courts, gas station parking lots, and anywhere else that people gather. It's just the straight disrespect of publicly shared spaces. And I'm not just talking about the shooting one another. I'm talking about period. Like, I understand you might be mentally handicapped, but unless you got a damn handicap sticker, you don't get to park. Creston, it was just last year, maybe 2 years ago now. The Senatobia Walmart made the news for another reason.
Yes, it did.
Do you recall that?
I do.
The lady that got stunned and arrested for not complying and was illegally parked in a handicap. And what is the culture's response? Her grandmother's handicapped and she was inside. It doesn't matter. She didn't have a handicap parking thing. She can drop her grandmother, if that part's even true. She can drop her grandmother off at the front door, ride around the parking lot, find a parking place. Granny, call me when you walk back outside. I'll pull up to the front door and get you. Even better, right?
Yeah.
That's what I do. If I drop my girlfriend off somewhere, like Shannon Best Buy the other day, I'll drop you off, call me, and I'll pull out here. I'll pull back to the front and pick you up.
Well, my better half is not handicapped, and I do that on a lot of occasions. I'll drop her at the front door because she runs a lot faster than I do.
But mine's not handicapped either. I'm just making the point that
absolutely.
Handicapped or not, front door drop off is better than waiting in a parking place.
Absolutely.
Why do you waiting what gives you the right to wait in a parking place when you're not even why didn't your fat ass go inside for your grandmother anyway? Excuse my language. But seriously, why didn't you go inside?
Well, let's look at it from the legal side. From the legal side, if you have a handicap placard or handicap tag, you are allowed to use a handicap parking place if the person that is handicapped is in the vehicle. That is the law. If you go without the handicapped person, you can't use the handicap parking place.
Oh, absolutely.
It's the people that aren't handicapped that use a handicap that get in the most trouble.
We got to take a break. But to that point, the one that kills me the most is somebody that uses a handicap, and it's probably theirs. They probably bamboozled it and got it through some nefarious means. And they get out, man, in my opinion, to have a handicap, you need to have some kind of assisted walking or strolling device to have a handicap sticker. Now, I mean, you need a walker, a cane, a wheelchair, a scooter, something like that to have a handicap, unless you're just really old age and you're hunchback and you know what, I think it's obvious. One of those, it's like the definition of pornography. Can't tell you exactly what it is, but I know it when I see it. That's like handicap for me. Might not be able to tell you exactly what it is, but we all know it when we see it. If somebody's dragging a cleft foot along, like you know it when you see it. And I know what's not handicapped when I see that too. Somebody that's perfectly healthy parking in a handicap space. I don't care if they got a handicap thing or not. I don't care if your doctor gave it to you. Your doctor should be reviewed, just like he wrote too much opioid medicine to you illegally or something. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. This is the Matt Bishop Show with guest host Clay Edwards and Creston Birch, 103.9 WYAB. I can't play the intro and outro to his show. He uses copyrighted music.
In the classroom and on the athletic stage begins with the Tri-County Academy Booster Club. Join the team and be a rebel by getting involved and volunteering as a booster. Your involvement is the generator for fundraisers, facility upgrades, equipment, uniforms, and all other needs. Tri-County Athletics thrives in part because of our TCA boosters. Join today by calling the TCA main office at 601-879-8517 and help the Rebels continue the championship tradition.
This is Jack Hoffman. For nearly 31 years, Tico Steakhouse has been a staple of fine dining in Jackson, Mississippi. Dad has long since desired for me to come work alongside him. And now that I'm here, I would like to invite you to come experience our family tradition of our hospitality, sizzling steaks, and healthy poured beverages. Our dining rooms are open and we are taking reservations. Our private rooms are also available along with takeout. Call today or stop in and experience Tico's in the second generation.
Tico's Steakhouse, East County Line Road in Ridgeland, 601-956-1030.
Fraud is everywhere these days. The good news, there are simple steps that you can take to help stay safe. AARP Mississippi is hosting free fraud prevention events to help protect yourself, like free shred events that let you safely dispose of sensitive documents, and free fraud prevention workshops in person and online. Register for a free fraud prevention event at www.aarp.org/ms.
When it comes to protecting what matters most, experience counts, and the Rusty Healy Agency has been serving Madison and the rest of the Jackson Metro for over 35 years. Local agent Landon Thompson is keeping that trusted tradition going strong. As a local independent agent, he's not locked into one provider. The Rusty Healy Agency can shop the top insurance companies to find the best fit for you. And everyone knows that the Rusty Healy Agency and Landon Thompson offer top quality local customer service. Contact Landon today at 601-856-3681.
Detroit-style pizza has its own rules. We learned them, then we made it our own. Johnny's Pizza House's Detroit-style pizza. Deep pan crust, crispy edges, your choice of toppings, then finished with the pizza sauce swirled right on top. Mouth-watering cheesy goodness. Order online at johnnysph.com and build your own Detroit-style pizza. Detroit-style the Johnny's way. Order a taste of Detroit this summer at Johnny's Pizza House. Let's share a slice.
Need equipment that works as hard as you do? Come see me, Noah Sullivan, at H&H Chief Sales in Carthage. Thousands of you have already made the short drive to see us at H&H for the state's best deals on CM truck beds, Big Tex trailers, Wells Fargo enclosed trailers, and even rugged Candy electric utility vehicles. At H&H, our equipment is built for the farm, job site, hunting camp, or anywhere around your property. So visit me, Noah Sullivan, at H&H Chief Sales on Highway 35 North in Carthage, or online anytime at hhchiefsales.com.
At Bank of Yazoo, we believe that common sense makes for better banking. That's why we've taken our array of checking accounts and simplified them for you, boiling down features and benefits to create our New You, Achieve You, Benefit You, and Protect You checking accounts. Ready to discover how simple is better? Talk with us today. Bank of Yazoo, Bank of You. Member FDIC and Equal Housing Lender. To create our
Welcome back in. You got Clay Edwards and Creston Birch filling in for Matt Bishop here on the Matt Bishop Show. If you're watching the live stream, we are doing a special third hour today. Appreciate everybody tuning in. If you're looking for somewhere to get some lunch today, man, swing out to Martin's downtown or Livingston and grab a great blue plate lunch from either location. Of course, the full menu is available as well. And man, you can't go wrong. And check out Livingston. I love Martin's Livingston. They got the market there. I'm not kidding. Outside of the whole ribeye that I buy once a month from either Allen's or in Pearl there, or is it technically Brandon? Anyway, Allen's grocery store. Whether it's there or Fairway down in Pelahatchie, I try to buy one whole ribeye and one whole filet a month. And so I got steak all the time at the house to eat. I get all my other groceries for the most part, because I don't have a wide variety of stuff that I eat, from Martin's Market right there in Livingston. They have frozen handmade flatbread pizzas. I call them flatbreads. It's actually pizza crust. It ain't flatbread. They're just kind of shaped like a flatbread would be, kind of this oblong, like a deflated football looking shape. And they have supreme, meat lovers, pepperoni, and it's all fresh, 100% ingredients. No, I would say never frozen, but they're put on fresh, and they're ICQ. They're put in the vacuum sealed bags. It's 2 pizzas in a bag. Then it's frozen and thrown in the fridge, but they're really fresh. I mean, hell, I bet you they make them every other day or so. And preheat your oven to about 400, throw them on a hot pan. And man, they are fine. I could probably cook one a week, well, one packet of them a week, if not more, here lately. The girlfriend likes them, and she's not a big pizza lover. She's like, that's really good. So anytime you can satisfy a non-pizza lover with pizza, that's a win-win for me, because I like pizza, and it's not very expensive. I think it's $15 for a pack of 2, and it's good, and it's easy to fix. So swing by, check them out for that. They have this really, really high-end steak that they sell there. They have the huge tomahawk ribeyes. They have fillets. They have big, super thick-cut ribeyes and others. They're all individually in the vacuum sealed bags, never frozen. Very, very, very high-end stuff there. You get what you pay for. It's a little, I don't call it expensive, but it's not cheap. But again, with a quality meat like that, they have Wagyu as well. Fine. So swing by, check that out. All the other great offerings there. Their pimento cheese, jalapeno pimento cheese is to die for. It truly is. That and some of their homemade pork skins, it's become my favorite snack. It's about what I eat for lunch every day now. So swing by, check them out, Martin's Market or Martin Downtown. All of the available to-go stuff is at the market at Livingston. And the expansion, man, they've expanded the inside. It'll be open soon. They took in the patio. Super nice. Much bigger than I thought that expansion was going to be. So their business is booming out there. So get out and check it out. We got a death thread in the comments this morning. Well, first, let me acknowledge a super chat from my boy Stickard. That's Justin. We appreciate Justin sending $3. Says pair character punching the air with fist and bump written on his knuckles. I guess I missed where that was coming from, but the context is there. But thank you for the super chat, my brother. Then we got a death threat here. Sean King, of course, y'all may remember Sean King. That's the name of the white guy that pretends he's black from Atlanta, wrote for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, that raised all that money. I think he came to prominence during the Trayvon Martin era. And he's a white guy that pretends he's black. And I mean, literally pretends he's black, haircut, like pretends he's a black guy, but he's literally a white guy. That's Sean King. So that's always the name I associate that with. But Sean King says, you will get a knock on your door soon, Clay. We're going to find you, Rankin County. I'm not hard to find. And I mean, trust me, there's just days that I can't tell you what I do, but it arouses me, the thought of that happening. It really does. So just know that, I mean, that's like a free pass. That would be a free pass for you to send me a public death threat and then to actually show up at my door. I mean, y'all can have all the little protests you want about it, but one of us are going to survive. It's probably going to be me, and y'all can burn the damn city down, but I ain't going to jail.
That would be what you call means, motive, and opportunity.
Absolutely. Again, just FAFO. That's all I can say. FAFO. I don't want to have to, but I mean, obviously, if you're stupid enough to send something like that on the internet, addition by subtraction, I think we would call that a community improvement killing. That's a word. That's a phrase. Yep, it is. Those exist. They're usually done to one another in somewhere like Jackson, when the thugs get to shooting at each other. One thug goes to jail, one goes to hell. It's a community improvement killing. It's a 2 for the price of 1. So, yeah, please. At least you're nice enough to knock, I guess. But do have cameras. Just be aware. And if you're wearing a mask, it's shoot first, ask questions later, as Tupac says. So, yeah, thank you for tuning in this morning. Creston, a thing that just blows my mind is, why do people listen to things they don't like?
I really don't know.
I'm convinced that, I said this last week, there's a subset of the demographic of the culture that have like a racism fetish. They have an oppression fetish. And ever since I said that, I've been seeing some YouTubers come out and use, and I know it's some YouTubers who use my clips for their shows. So like some black conservatives that have used some of my clips of me and you on here. And now they picked up my racism fetish thing the other day. And I've never heard anybody else say that. So I'm going to take credit for it. I'm convinced they have a racism fetish.
It has to be something to that effect. I really don't know. If I don't like something, I change the channel.
I do too.
I stay away from it.
Yeah, I mean, I may watch now I do this for a living, so I will have to gather clips of people saying things I don't like to talk about on the radio or online or whatever, because I kind of do an internet online reactions. At the end of the day, it's like a big reaction show, news reaction show, more than it is anything. So I kind of have to seek out this kind of content, but I'm not about to sit down and make it scheduled viewing from a fake profile and send death threats and comment. I'm not going to comment on any of it. So it's just mind-boggling to me that people watch stuff and comment on stuff. Makes them so mad that they feel like that a death threat is the
way to go.
Is the way to go.
I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say I don't take them serious. I keep my head on a swivel and I take it all very serious. But what I've learned is most of the people who are going to actually do something like that aren't going to announce it on social media
no.
first. So again, just let me circle back to this real quick here. There's a reason why. Yeah, one quick fix here. 1 second. I changed something here. Need to do this. I still got my screen protector on there, screensaver. There's a reason why black folks were voted the most hated group of people in America right now. And it's because of stuff like that. It's because of sending death threats to people on the internet, because you watch things that make you mad and you have low impulse control and obviously an underdeveloped frontal lobe and can't think more than 5 seconds into the future about maybe this ain't a good idea. But that's why y'all won the poll or lost the poll, depending upon your perspective. There is sending stupid stuff like that. And again, just for full clarification, black people that aren't doing stuff like that, I'm not talking about y'all. I'm talking about the idiots there that send stuff like this. Miss Angela, I know you're watching this morning. I appreciate you. I appreciate you sending me that. So y'all know who I'm talking about and who I'm not. And I want to clear one other thing up too, real quick before we go to break here in the next minute. People ask all the time, Clay, why don't you talk about I'm going to do it this one time here. Why don't you talk about the pedophile? Why don't you talk about the white people, the pedophiles, the sexual assaults? Because the second you say those words and you're streaming on the internet, they shadow ban your account. And I probably just got lost 200 viewers tomorrow. Like this stuff it kills their algorithm, their AI. It hears those words. The internet does not like you talking about that on these social media platforms. That is why I don't talk about that stuff. And frankly, I don't like talk. I rarely talk about suicides either. There's lots of things that go on that I don't talk about. We don't talk. Y'all think that only white people are pedophiles and sexual assaulters? You don't think there's black people doing it too? I see them all the time. Come across from WLBT and these other apps. Rarely do I talk about it unless it's just something, it's very egregious in and of itself. But I mean, it's got to be just over the top for me to discuss it, because I just always think that there's a child that's a victim there, and there's a parent of that child that's a victim, and the parents are victims too. In this case, in this thing, I don't want to be the one that they open up and that's the first thing they see on their app is, oh crap, man, that's a reminder that happened to my kid. Yep. So that's one of the reasons I don't talk about it. Did I used to? Yeah, I did, because I wasn't thinking of the bigger picture.
The what next?
Yeah, the what next. I wasn't thinking of like the butterfly effect. Well, Clay, why don't you do that with murder victims? Well, because most of the time, it goes back to what I said a minute ago, it's a 2-for-1. And most of the murder victims in Jackson, not all, most, it's 2 for the price of 1.
If they didn't hear me say this last week, JPD has an excellent rate of solvability on their crimes of the murder type.
Well, they should, because it's kind of like shooting fish in a barrel. They get no swings at the bat.
Well, and they also usually it's someone that's closely connected to the victim. It's not this, outside organization or this lone wolf person that, it's going to be somebody they know.
You mean to tell me it's not the KKK?
I would suggest it's not.
Breaking news here on the Clay Edwards Show.
The roving bands of Klansmen that are killing, black folks all over the state of Mississippi.
The supremacy?
According to the people from outside of the state of Mississippi.
What did Chokwe Lumumba refer to that as? What kind of conflict when the two people know each other?
Oh,
starts with an I.
Oh,
interpersonal conflict. Now, I broke clocks right twice a day.
Yeah.
It is a lot of interpersonal conflict, but when it's not interpersonal conflict, it's usually because interpersonal conflict gone awry and a stray bullet hit and killed an innocent person at a gas station or in a bedroom. And it's usually a kid laying in a bed that gets shot in these drive-by shootings, not the intended target. Let's take a break. We'll be right back here on the Not the Clay Edwards Show. We're filling in for Matt Bishop. This is the Matt Bishop Show. And then coming up at 10 o'clock, you got the Andrew Gosser Show from 10 to noon, followed by the Lindsey Beckham Show from noon to 1. We'll be right back. And Kim Wade, 4 to 6.
Mississippi College is now Mississippi Christian University. It's a new name for the Wall Street Journal's #1 private college in the state and one of U.S. News and World Report's best national universities. But there's nothing new about MC's commitment to academic excellence or its Christian mission. Visit mc.edu to discover how MC can help shape your life of purpose and service. Mississippi Christian University, celebrating 200 years of scholarship and faith.
Hey, Flora, the farm store in Flora, fresh from the farm right here. The farm store in Flora, organic, local, clear. Locally sourced meats and vegetables too. Fresh produce every day, picked just for you. The farm store in Flora, fresh from the farm right here. The farm store in Flora, come see what's fresh today.
When seconds making a play, Short's got it covered.
A winning insurance strategy doesn't rely on one person.
Good hustle, good hustle.
Communicate with your guys and make sure everyone's in the right coverage. It takes a team that knows its roles well, working together to provide an exceptional experience.
Set the screen. You have to protect yourself. 1, 2, 3, Wildcat!
At Shelter Insurance, you can count on our local agents and award-winning customer service to help you protect what matters most.
Come see me, Jamie Creel, at Shelter Insurance and see why Forbes has rated us #1 in the world.
ABC News, I'm Sherry. Creston, a pause in U.S. attacks on Iran. Sources say the White House is holding off on strikes while negotiators go back to the bargaining table. The search is on in Seattle for at least one more gunman in yesterday's deadly shooting. 3 people were shot and killed during a food festival at the Space Needle. 4 others were hurt. Roberto Ramirez was caught in the panic that followed.
All the vendors got behind the plywood because of the shooter until, I don't know, it was like 5 minutes. Then it was kind of like, a big silence. And it wasn't until like 15 minutes later the cops started showing up.
A monster wildfire in France has forced 220,000 people from their homes. However, the country's interior minister said today that fire has stopped growing. Fire is also burning in Spain. 1 person there was killed. The trial begins today for Lindsay Clancy in Massachusetts. The former nurse killed her 3 children 19 days after being discharged from a psychiatric hospital. This is ABC News.
You wake up tired. You drag through the day. The drive's gone. The focus is gone. And somewhere along the way, you stopped feeling like yourself. At Live Better Men's Health and Wellness in Gluckstadt, they help men take control again with personalized testosterone therapy, wellness treatments, and real answers. Fast lab work, real medical professionals, no judgment. Stop settling for fine. Start living better. Live Better Men's Health. Online at livebettermen.com.
Attention citizens, the call is going out across all of 103.9 WYAB. Each Tuesday from 9 to 10 a.m., General Bob's Swap Shop summons all able-bodied listeners to buy, sell, and trade. Sign up by calling the phone line and joining the campaign where your stuff becomes the hero of the hour. No shillings, no coins, no enlistment fees of any kind to peddle your personal items. Report for duty each Tuesday at 9 a.m. right here on 103.9 WYAB. General Bob needs you and your stuff.
What are people saying about Tom's Fried Pies in Ridgeland?
I'm on a diet. I don't want to be down there at Tom's Fried Pies. We had a good time. When I tell you the crust was flaky, I'm talking about buttery. This was nothing like I've ever tasted. Ever. I mean, I've never tasted anything like that, man. It was nice. Atmosphere was nice. Everybody there was nice. Because I'll be back, even though I don't supposed to with my diet. I thoroughly enjoyed myself.
Tom'sFriedPies.com. Tom'sFriedPies.com.
Hot temps and bright sunshine means it's a perfect time to take a closer look at Pops Auto Sales in Florence. Pops Auto is loaded with Broncos, Jeeps, Yukons, Tahoes, Expeditions, F-250s, Dualies, 2500s, even a Toyota Sequoia Hybrid. Pops' buying experience will blow the top right off your next ride, which is the perfect time to let your hair blow in the wind. Get 0 down with approved credit and a 3-month, 3,000-mile limited powertrain warranty available on all eligible vehicles. Pops Auto Sales, Highway 49 in Florence, and at popsautosalesllc.com.
Welcome back in to the Matt Bishop Show. Obviously, this is Clay Edwards, not Matt Bishop. My guest host here with me this morning is Creston Birch. We're on 103.9 WYAB. Just talking a little culture war this morning, a little racisms, a little bit of all that good stuff, kind of what's going on in and around the world and Mississippi as a whole, and right here in central Mississippi. We're streaming worldwide on the interwebs. You can find that at SaveJXN on X and YouTube. And then you can find us in stunning HD on Facebook, Twitch, and Rumble by typing in Clay Edwards Show. Let's see here. I talked about we didn't get to it a minute ago, but I talked about the mayor in South Haven. And he has started up some new code violation stuff. I've got it saved on the screen, but the words are too small, so I'm just going to pull up my notes here real quick so I can read these things.
And
And
this was the mayor of South Haven, right?
mayor of South Haven. And so, long story short, they got a new, I don't know if you want to call it a law. I guess it's a law, because if you don't do it, you can go to jail. It's being guised as a code violation. Look, at the end of the day, I'm conflicted on this. So, and he's standing by. We're going to read some of his comments online. He's going after people in the comments. Like, I'm like, man, is he drunk? I mean, I like it. I like the energy. I ain't gonna lie, but I don't know how much I like the policy. But man, I'll say this, Creston, I know you said you don't like it. Man, again, here's what happened. I lived in Jackson too long, and I saw what zero enforcement looks like. So when somebody wants to maybe rule with a bit of a heavy hand on code enforcement, it doesn't bother me. It's like these flock cameras and all that stuff that everybody's all upset about. Man, I ain't doing nothing wrong. So it don't bother me. And honestly, and I get it. A lot of the constitutional absolutists, which I consider myself to be one of those. I don't know where in the Constitution it says you reserve the right not to be recorded.
Well, let me say two things on that. Number one is if you are out in the public, you are apt to be recorded, and it's legal.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they have by that. But the second thing I have for them is all these folks that are against these flock cameras or any type of the blah 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 whatever. How many of you have a iPhone in your pocket? If you got an iPhone in your pocket, you're being tracked by more people than you know already.
That's it, man.
So a flock camera is only one spot.
And I've heard people mention, well, they can be hacked really easy.
What information are they going to get from?
Well, I was going to say, and some weirdo is going to be able to look at our traffic cameras.
I can see your tag number.
Yeah, I don't care. Yeah, I mean, would I rather them not? I guess. I mean, I don't. What is a flock camera being hacked? How does that affect me? But I mean, can somebody explain that to me? How does that affect me? I see a lot of these videos online about it, and it's typically your First Amendment auditors. It's people that are just looking for something to pout about. And I guarantee if you go and look, it's always these white people, and it's always domestic violence. They always got a domestic violence charge. I don't know what it is. The people that like to complain about this stuff also like to beat their wife. I'm not saying all of them. I'm sure some of y'all are out there like, Clay, I don't beat my wife, and I'm against these flock cameras. I get it. But I don't understand what the fuss is. I really don't. And you call me a bootlicker or whatever. I'm just like, man, if it can prevent me from being falsely accused of something by proving that I wasn't somewhere, I'm all for it. I am. I'm sorry. I'm not going to apologize. I'm not sorry. I think you owe us an apology if you have a problem with cameras. I truly do. I think big picture, they're going to do more good than bad.
And they always say, well, somebody will use them for bad. And that's true, 100%. Don't disagree with you. Yep. But that's few and far between.
It is. So somehow or another, I guess I was talking about the South Haven stuff and went down that rabbit hole as far as like government overreach or stuff like that. I came from a city that had no code enforcement and little to no law enforcement for that matter. And now live in one that enforces code and has law enforcement. And man, I keep my yard as nice or nicer than anybody in my neighborhood because I don't want to be the neighbor that's not doing his good, being a good neighbor. And that's not a knock at my neighbors. Everybody does a great job at keeping their yards up, but I'm not going to be the one that doesn't. And I see the code people riding through there all the time looking for something. And I ain't never getting a note on my door. They have to remind me to pay my water bill every now and then. I slip on the water bill for whatever reason. But other than that, they ain't going to be looking for Clay Edwards. So Mayor Musselwhite up there in South Haven says, and we got to be quick here, says, what a day in South Haven. We welcome SIP Manufacturing, who's expanded from California to invest $100 million in new jobs to South Haven, creating a beverage bottling and shipping operation that serves the entire Southeast region. It opened my eyes big when I attended the Luke Bryan concert last night to observe the results of our investment in the amphitheater. We packed the house and citizens were loving life. I will always guide the future of South Haven as you expect me to, and must communicate the big picture of our success. We're winning. South Haven, let's keep it rolling. And so that was the Facebook post. And then up under it, some people are like, I just have to say South Haven has been doing great. It's the biggest complaint everyone is up in arms about is replacing mini blinds. It's not a crime. It's the economy, job growth, cost of living, etc. It's blinds. It's laughable. Keep doing what you're doing. Let's see here. Man, got some responses here from him. Yes, here's one. Somebody says, now talk about the pedophiles infiltrating schools in our city. He said, learn civics. The DeSoto County school system has authority regarding school matters. I recorded some of these twice. All right. Apparently, I did not get the right screenshots. This is all about teachers assaulting kids. But he does get into these replies a good bit. So I saved the wrong screenshots. Long story short, though, he got in some of these replies about these mini blinds and told one chick she was fat to quit wasting money on overeating and replace her mini blinds. And I just love that energy. I do. I don't know how many violations you got to get to go to jail for this mini blind violation. But man, there's nothing worse than turning on a street and you look over at one of the houses and the mini blinds are all ate up in the front. It looks terrible. And it makes the whole block look terrible. So if somebody's got to fall on that sword, I'm all right with it.
Here's what he said. He emphasized balancing individual rights with protecting the city's quality of life. Quote, anytime we add an ordinance, especially with code enforcement, we want to walk gently with that. We want to make sure we don't do things that create a hardship for people. However, it's critical for our city that we protect the quality of life in our residential neighborhoods. I'm okay with protecting the quality of life in your residential neighborhoods. Keep the trash out of your yard, cut your grass, don't let it be 4 foot tall. But if you're coming around telling me to fix a blind in my front window, that goes too far.
Man, I humbly disagree.
Wait a minute. We disagreed on something. We got to mark today.
It's front facing. And it looks like crap. It must have been a real problem in somewhere there. It had to be more than one person, one house that this was an issue at for whatever reason. And I get it. Kids can mess them up. Dogs can mess them up. Trust me, I know. Don't ask me how I know. Meth heads constantly looking at them can mess them up. Lots of things can mess blinds up. And look, curtains are cheap. Replace them with curtains. I did mine at my house. When I first moved in it, the person before, half the blinds there, half were gone. I took them all down, replaced all of it with ceiling to floor curtains. They weren't expensive at all. Didn't take me an hour to replace every one in the house. So again, every house is different, but I got big windows across the front of mine and I got some big windows on the back of the house and I did the curtains. Didn't take long. Yeah. 100%. It is an overreach. I won't argue, but it's not like he's saying everybody has to spend $10,000 bringing their house up to code either. It's not an expensive fix.
I don't disagree with you that it's not an expensive fix, but for the city to be enforcing that, I think that's not what government was for.
Yeah, look, without even looking at the comments, I feel like I'm in the minority here, and it always goes back to like broken window policing to me. This is like broken window code enforcement.
And folks out there got to remember, I worked for a city government for over 33 years.
Yeah, look, I tell people all the time, like especially white people that live in the suburbs that complain about policing. You've lived a good life for too long. If you're complaining about getting a ticket for going 5 miles over the speed limit, if you're complaining about getting a ticket for not using a blinker or making an illegal turn or whatever, if a cop saying something to you about being parked in the wrong area, whatever, you've lived a good life for too long and you don't understand what it's like to live somewhere that doesn't enforce any of those things. And the trickle down effect is Jackson. I don't have to go into all of it. You know what I'm saying? So if giving up a little bit, if having to deal with a little bit of code enforcement, now, is this a domino? And what's next? I'll give you that. What's next? Now you all got to paint your house like this, or now if you have any dead grass in your yard, and if your driveway hasn't been pressure washed, or if your gutters are, need to be, if they're overflowing with pine straw, when is too much? I'll say, just the whole give them an inch to take a mile, like taking the flag down, and that was supposed to stop all the hatred and racism in the state and make everything better. But after they took the flag down, it became the murder capital of America. I get it. You're never going to satisfy everybody. So I don't know. Just in and of itself, I don't have a problem with the mini blind code enforcement because it looks like crap. But big picture, what's next? If they can do that, what can't they do? So I guess if I have to look at it from that perspective, I would vote to not enforce the mini blind law code because I don't know what's next. But I'm not going to change my mind on the cameras. I'm not changing my now. Put a flock camera down every street and make sure the mini blinds are not being or not in violation. Let's do that. But I'm the same guy that applauds the city of Pearl and the city down on the coast. The guy that put the insurance cameras up to give people tickets that run red lights and don't have insurance on their car. I support that because, man, you know what? I ain't running red lights and I got insurance. The roads are not a constitutional right. They're a privilege. It's called a privilege it's called a driving privilege.
Yeah.
Not a driving right. Let's take a break, or let's get ready to come back from the break. I'm sorry. We're getting ready to come back from the break. So I got to be quiet for just a second because the intro music's about to start. That was it. We're out. That was it. I ran over. Y'all be good. I'll see y'all tomorrow. I will say this real quick. Watch my ass go get a ticket for running a red light today. Thank y'all for staying.